Good afternoon or evening, and welcome to Greg Mitchell Field on the campus of Missouri Valley College, where tonight the Missouri Valley College Vikings are looking for their first win of the 2017 season, and that is a rarity. Joe, I mentioned looking earlier in the week, and I said two rare things have happened this fall. Number one, a total eclipse. And number two, the Vikings losing their first two games of the season. That has not happened since 1996. It's been a while.
Yeah, very, very unusual to see the Vikings lose their first two games. But we played two quality opponents, Benedictine and William Penn, both two very good football teams. But really need a win tonight. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Just got to get it done. And playing Graceland, another team that's coming in with an 0-2 record right now. So let's see if we can put it together on all cylinders.
Well, Graceland, they lost to Mid-America Nazarene. And last week, I think a game they thought they were going to win, they hosted Avila. Avila jumped out on them 21-0, so they are 0-2. New coach, they're looking for some kind of an identity.
Well, they are, and they need a win tonight as well as we do. And I think the thing, Ken, three things kind of stick out with me. Number one, in the Vikings' first two games, we've been plagued with injuries. We've had a few guys that have been out because of this or that. Also, we've made some mistakes, a lot of penalties at the wrong time. But I think one thing that's really stood out, we're so accustomed to our defense completely dominating the other team's offense. You know, the defense has played well. They've looked very good at times, but they haven't quite been as dominant as they have been in some years past. And so many times in the past, our defense has set up scoring opportunities for the offense. So look for that to happen as the season goes on.
Well, to your point, the Vikings have given up 2 yards rushing, over 250 yards a game rushing. That just hasn't happened in the past.
No, Coach Monty Rowe, one of the best defensive coaches in the nation. And, you know, so many years the Vikings lead the nation in many different defensive categories. And, like I say, I think they'll get on track. And, you know, good game by quarterback Jake Bridges last week, kind of a breakout game for a couple of the other players on the team. So let's see if we can maybe get it together at home. We've got 2 more home games before we hit the road for 2 tough road trips.
Well, and as I mentioned with this Graceland Ball Club, they have a new coach, and he was the offensive coordinator last year at Lindenwood, Mark Kolb. He's 0-2, and he got hired late. It was about midsummer when he got hired, so he has not spent a lot of time with this ball club. So it's a work in progress for them as well.
You know, and Graceland really came on last year. I think they beat Mid-America, didn't they? They pulled a couple of big upsets during the course of the season, and you could really see that program starting to evolve. But, you know, when you lose your coach and somebody comes in late, I'm sure this guy will do a good job, but it takes a while to kind of get things going.
All right, here are the scores from today. Baker rolled Culver Stockton 67-7. No surprise there. Mid-American Nazarene at William Penn today won 31-12. So it looks like the Pioneers have it going on. Benedictine over Avila 72-14. And it was Grandview over CMU in Des Moines 59-7. Evangel and Peru playing tonight, and this is the other night game. So that Mid-American Nazarene score, that one kind of surprised me.
Well, what surprises me, look at the high numbers. Look at the offense by Baker. Look at the offense by Grandview. Look at the offensive numbers by Benedictine, and look at the offensive numbers by Mid-America. All 4 of those teams in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So you're seeing a lot of teams in this conference with very potent offenses right now.
All right, we had a chance to visit earlier in the week with Mark Cole. Mark, again, has been around the coaching fraternity. He is a member of this coaching fraternity. He's been around several different universities and colleges. His last stop was last year. He was the offensive coordinator at Division II Lindenwood. I had a chance to talk with him earlier in the week.
On the Viking show, visiting now with Mark Kolb in his first year as the head coach of Yellow Jackets. And, Coach, welcome to the Heart of America Conference. Last year you were the offensive coordinator at Lindenwood, but you have quite a background in football. You've been at several different programs over the years, haven't you?
I have been. That's one of the blessings of being a college football coach. You get to see a whole lot of the country.
Yeah, no question about that. Let's talk about your year. You're taking over the job with the Yellow Jackets of Graceland University in the NEIA. 0-2 on the year, but tell me a little bit about your philosophy first, Coach. What do you like to see on the football field?
Not a single mistake. Everybody where they're supposed to be and be there on time. And that's something we haven't done yet. It's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. We're 5-6 weeks into this right now. Most of these players, we didn't get a chance to meet them until they showed up for camp, and we knew that it was going going to be a dead sprint to get as many things fixed as we could once.
Well, Coach, I know you like to throw the football a lot, at least with the players you have this year. Last week, Caleb Thomas had 21 catches. Man, for some people, that's half a season.
I didn't realize he had that many. Honestly, at the end of the night, we looked at the stat sheet, and we're just amazed that the ball found him that often. And I actually had to go back, and I'm looking at film to make sure. I thought maybe we'd gotten something messed up or a number confused or something, but the ball just found him. He had a wonderful, wonderful night.
Coach, you lost to Mid-Am 45-28 in Avila, but the Mid-Am game, I understand, was close until late in the second half, and then Avila, they jumped out on you early, and then after that you made it a pretty good ball game. But as you said, those mistakes early in a game like that will kill you, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. In both situations, Mid-Am, it's a three-point game in the fourth quarter, and was a one-possession game throughout most of the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, in Avila, we came out, and they were excited and more ready to play than we were. And they jumped out early. We made some critical errors early in the game that allowed them to build a nice, comfortable lead, and they could just sit back and relax. We made a run at it to tighten things down a little bit, but not enough.
Coach, I guess when I talk to Coach Paul Troth of Missouri Valley, he's going to say the same things. Mistakes have really cost his ball club, and the Vikings are 0-2. That doesn't happen very often. So you'll be in Marshall to take on a Valley ball club. What have you seen on film about this Viking club that you're going to face tonight?
One of the things, and I've said this to our team an awful lot, I love the way that they play the game. I truly do. I think they play the game the right way. I always respect people that play full speed and do those little things, and that's what I see an awful lot on film. I see a bunch of guys out there that are flying around, going full speed, trying to do everything that they can to win, and I always respect that.
Well, Coach, no question. In this conference, if you make mistakes, go lose ball games, you do things right. As you said, if you had the perfect game, you can beat anybody in this conference. So should be an interesting ball game tonight. What are some of the keys for your club to get win number one tonight?
Be smart early. I think that's true for every football team. But be smart early. Don't make those critical mistakes that put you in a hole early on. And then to understand that the game is 60 minutes long. I don't care whether you're up or down. I don't care who you are or who you're facing. You've got to play for a full 60.
All right, so there you have the comments from Mark Kolb. He is in his first year, as I mentioned, as the head coach of the Yellow Jackets, and spent last year as the offensive coordinator at Lindenwood University in St. Charles. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk it over with Blaze Holzer. He is the receivers coach for the Vikings. That visit's coming up in 1 minute on the Viking Sports Network.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up,
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
We're about 17 and a half minutes away from the start of this game. And again, earlier this week, I had a visit with Blaze Holzer. He's the receivers coach for the Vikings.
On the pregame show, Blaze Holzer joins us. And, Coach, let's talk about your unit, first of all, with the receivers. Boy, you have some burners out there.
Yeah, we've got some good players. I mean, obviously, we've been very fortunate the entire time I've been here to have Dorian Stennard. He's been a first-team all-conference guy a couple years in a row. We're fortunate enough to get back Jakari Johnson, who was an all-conference player for us 2 years ago. And so we've got some really talented guys out there, obviously, at the front end. But we've also got some really talented young guys. I think Moses Minchin's going to continue to jump out on the page. Khalil Smith is making some significant impact for us. We've got some other young guys that are, true freshmen that are really going to step in and make some noise this year as well, in addition to Jay Kirk. So we got a solid group, and I'm really excited to continue to watch them grow.
Fortunately, Rayshon Parker broke his leg in game number 1. I think Rayshon was counting on having a good year, but those things are going to happen, aren't they?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, for a guy to be in his last year of eligibility, to face a season-ending injury in the very first game of that season is pretty tough. And Ray had a really good camp and worked really hard and brought it kind of a different body type to our group, and so he was certainly going to be able to fill some particular roles for us. So that's going to be missed. But next man up, we got to find other people to get the job done, and we continue to move forward.
You mentioned Jakari, 3 touchdowns last week. He's a big asset on that football team.
Oh, no question. Jakari Johnson, tremendous player. I mean, he's very versatile. A couple years back, played running back for us, significant minutes, and also played receiver. Can help you in the return game as well. Pretty much anywhere you put him, he's going to be able to get things done. I mean, I'm sure if you gave him some hot dogs, he could walk up in the stands and get it done. But he's done a great job. In more than anything, he's just explosive and a great leader for our guys, and just one that's tremendous to have around.
I'm amazed at Dorian Stennard, some of the catches he makes. I remember as a freshman, he struggled sometimes to hold on to the ball, and a lot of that is experience and confidence, but he has really come a long way and is a really good receiver.
Oh, no question. I mean, I've said it before, Dorian's probably one of the best receivers I've ever coached, and I've coached a guy who's been in NFL camps the last 2 years, so he's a tremendous player, really worked hard to continue to develop himself. This past offseason, had to go through some nagging injury stuff, which kind of held him up a little bit in the summer. But he's really come on and is having a good season so far, and we hope that continues.
All right, you take on Graceland today. Both teams looking for the first win. What do you see defensively that maybe we can exploit, or some things that we can do to them?
Well, Graceland's going to play some multiple fronts, and they've got some young players out there. Certainly, show some talent, but whenever you got a lack of experience, there are some things that you just haven't seen that get you into trouble sometimes with eye control and things of that sort. So, hopefully, we can get out there and run the ball on them really well, and then exploit some of those eye control problems that they may show on occasion in the defensive backfield. But they're going to be coached up well, and it's just going to be a matter of getting out there and trying to put people in position to make plays.
Our guys will be ready, won't they? They want to get that win.
Oh gosh, that's an understatement. I mean, we're hungry. Coming off a 9-win season last year, and the way that the season ended wasn't the way really anybody wanted to keep it going. But starting off this year, we played 2 really good, solid teams that I think are going to be tough for anybody in the conference to beat. So we feel like we've got a good group. It's just going to be a matter of time, and we had a good week of practice, probably the best week we've had so far. So they're hungry to get out there and get one in the win column.
Blaze Holzer, he is the receivers coach. And, Joe, kind of interesting as we were talking to Blaze and looking at some statistics for this ball game. The Vikings have 5 touchdowns this year, 5 touchdowns all through the year, not one rushing touchdown. And Jakari Johnson has 4 of the 5. Stennard has the other.
Yeah, and those are 2 outstanding receivers. Like I say, Jakari didn't play last year, but really has come on the scene and made an instant impact here. And, of course, Dorian Stennard, he's the veteran. And, the running game really has looked pretty good at times, so you look for us to get some on the board. But you like to have that balance. You like to balance the run and the pass as much as you possibly can.
All right, so there you have the interview with our receivers coach. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk it over with the Vikings leading rusher, Kenny Sanford. That's coming up in 1 minute on the Viking Sports Network.
My husband has a gambling problem. We never seem to have enough money anymore. I've tried to help him, and I've tried to fix it. I just feel like I'm trapped. It seems like there is nothing for me to do and nowhere to turn. I love him, but
You're not
I
taking
have
that
to
off
think
of us,
about
are
our
you?
kids. We need to get help.
Problem gambling doesn't just affect the gambler. Call 888-BETS-OFF for free help. Sponsored by the Missouri Alliance to Curb Problem Gambling.
We are 11 and a half minutes away from the start of this contest. Vikings and the Yellow Jackets. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Again, that has not happened to Valley since the 1996 season. 21 years ago, the last time the Vikes started 0-2. And Joe, and in that season, Valley went 1-9. So a very rare season, 1996. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, and you know, teams have come back from losing their first two games and had a great year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Viking team do that. But you kind of put yourself behind the eight ball because you eliminate any possible room for mistake. And I tell you, there's some good teams in the conference this year. But I tell you, these guys will get it straightened out, and they're going to be a good football team. I'm confident of that.
Well, we'll see what happens tonight. Kenny Sanford leads this team in rushing. Kenny has 154 yards through the first two games, an average of 77 yards a game. I had a chance to sit down with him earlier this week.
Kenny Sanford is my guest on the pregame show. Kenny, of course, a running back out of the state of Ohio. Lists as a sophomore, being more and more comfortable in the program?
For sure. I'm getting used to the system. I'm kind of learning how it works, the in and outs and everything. Coach Charles really taught me a lot.
Tell you what, and it does make a whole lot of difference, doesn't it, that 1 year?
Yeah, because, like, I learned, like, we're supposed to be looking at the linebackers, the D-line, how our O-line works, kind of learn the whole system.
And I know you've been here, you've worked hard in the classroom and out. I know that. I've had you in class, and you've worked to become a good student and also work in the football field. Now, the Vikings are 0-2. That just doesn't happen very often. How are practices going? You still staying confident?
I know our team is trying to stay confident. We're trying to stay, keep our composure, stay together, you know what I'm saying? Because usually when you have these type of situations, people like tend to fall apart. The team usually falls apart, but I think we're really well meshed together, and we're going to keep fighting.
Well, we've had some injuries. We've had some people not play for one reason or the other. It looks like we're starting to get everybody back now.
Well, that's a good part, but I think anyone put in a situation, the starting position, be able to stand up and make a play. That's what they got recruited for, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, you are the number one running back. Dre Kelly's come in, and he's helped you out a little bit, giving you a little rest, hasn't he?
Yeah, Dre Kelly, he can catch for sure. They should use him, you know what I'm saying? They use him more on the outside, use me in a running scheme. And then we got another running back, Elton Taylor. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a playmaker. He's really fast.
Well, they used you as a receiver a little bit. You've lined up there, but they're using you more as that running back this year, aren't they?
Mm-hmm, because right now they're having a 3-back rotation now as soon as Elton gets back.
Okay.
And then I think we're all going to be used for different purposes. And then hopefully Dre gets to use his shine at his receiving skills. I know he talks a lot about his receiving skills. He really got hands. And Elton's that really fast dude, that playmaker type. And I could be that all-purpose type, I feel like.
Nice to have Jakari Johnson back, too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Jakari, I was sharing with him all summer. Him, Jakari, Sean Simmons, I've been sharing with them.
Spent the entire summer together working out. You changed to number 7 from number 10. Why the change?
Well, when I first started playing football when I was little, I wore the number 7. That was my first number.
And it was Jonathan Battle had it last year, you tell me. It was available this year, and you grabbed it.
Yeah. I had to take the chance at it, man. I was like, when I first saw the number was open, I was like, oh, it's mine. I got to be. I earned it.
All right, so you have 7. I know Kyerton Kilgore changed to number 6, so a few number changes. Your thoughts on this Graceland team? Need to get a win tonight.
We know they play a lot of man coverage, so I think we can, use our athletes, to take advantage of that. And then using our mismatches at tight end position and running back position to take advantage of that too.
When you have the speed and the ability that you have, and Jakari and Dorian, we have some and Jake, we have some playmakers on this team.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a good game for us, and then for them, they hopefully they prepare this week. We know they're a good team, but I feel like we could dominate if we have all this stuff put together.
Kenny, always enjoy watching you play. By the way, you promised me you weren't going to fumble the football. I shouldn't even mention it. You haven't done it yet.
I know I've been working out all summer. All my homeboys back at home say, Kenny, don't fumble the ball. I'm already on it.
All right, I know you are. Hey, I always appreciate the visit and love to watch you play.
Well, there you have a couple of comments from Kenny. Joe, he is a quality running back, and he's something that the Vikings are going to have a good year from him in order to be successful in these last 8 games of the year.
Yeah, and Kenny's getting better all the time. The thing I like about him, too, Ken, he seems to be pretty sure-handed. Now, he'll probably fumble 6 times since I said that, but so far this year. He takes care of the football, and very seldom do you see him get dumped in the backfield. He usually gets back to the line of scrimmage and does something positive.
All right, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're just about 6.5 minutes away from kickoff on a beautiful night in Marshall. The Vikings are out on the field, and we're waiting for the Yellow Jackets, but we're going to talk it over with the head coach, Paul Troth, in just a few moments. The Vikings 0-2, the Yellow Jackets 0-2. One of these teams going to get win number 1 tonight. We'll be back with more from Greg Mitchell Field, Volney Ashford Stadium, in just a bit on the Viking Sports Network.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress. A mom. We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Paul Troth is in his 16th year, believe it or not, as the head coach of the Vikings. His record at Valley 122-50, and overall 160-68. Very successful, third all-time in wins, behind Volney Ashford and also Ken Gibber at Missouri Valley.
Paul Troth joins us shortly before this game with the Yellow Jackets of Graceland. And, Coach, the Yellow Jackets come in with a new coach, so I guess maybe a little different scheme this time around.
Yeah, you know, fortunately it's the third game of the year, so we got a chance to see their first two. But staff comes in, they're going to change some things up, and certainly they did. So, you know, we've got the two games. We went off and based a lot of the stuff off of that. I'm sure they've got some more things up their sleeve and be ready for us. We're just going to be ready to adjust.
Now, they'll throw it a lot, but they don't throw the ball downfield a lot, or do they? I think it's a lot of just short passes, isn't it?
Well, they do. They throw it all around. They'll take some shots down the field. But, yeah, they're going to try to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and they've got some good receivers, and the quarterback's done a really nice job distributing the ball. So they'll be a challenge. They make you defend the whole field. They spread you out and get you thin. And, you know, the big thing for us is just, you know, make them earn it. Don't give up the big play.
How about defensively? What have you seen defensively from them?
Well, they show you a couple different fronts. They get into a four-man front and they run some 3-3 stack, which you don't see that combination a whole lot as much as they do both of them. That really fairly evenly with most of them. They mix in a lot of man and some zone. So you know, they kind of make you prepare for just about every scenario. They'll bring some pressure. They'll drop into coverage, but. You know, they're new staff like we talked about, and so they're disguising coverages and can make it kind of tough at times. They do enough different things that we're going to have to really be ready and make sure we're seeing what we're seeing.
Coach, you're looking for that first win, but in both the ball games, we've seen a lot of positives. Just been a mistake or two that really seems to slow down this Viking team, but you have seen a lot of positives.
Well, sure. I mean, there's some good things happening, but the frustrating thing is, you know, that's kind of the way it is every game. When you lose a game, you're always thinking about one or two plays that could have made a big difference, and certainly that's no different with us. And you know, that just shows our youth is in experiences. We've got to play more like an experienced team. We've got to cut down on those silly mistakes, and if we do that, I think we'll be in better shape, certainly. But whether we do that or not, I mean, that's what we've been working on. We talked to our guys. They understand, and it's just a matter of going out and doing it.
Looks like you have some of those people back, but again, Coach Hiller's had to make some adjustments on that offensive line, hasn't he?
Yeah, we've had some just really unfortunate injuries and some things happen up front. So, you know, we're kind of juggling those guys, and guys got pressed into service in spots that they hadn't really practiced much, and so it limits you a little bit on what you can do, and you know, that's the result of some of our mistakes. But you know, the thing is those young guys are getting some great experience. It's been kind of painful experience because you don't want to lose a game getting experience, but you know, they'll be better for it in the long run. But you know, in the end, every week we're just getting a little bit better up front.
All right, so there you have some comments from Coach Paul Troth as his team looking for win number 1 here in the 3rd week of the season. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the kickoff, the Yellow Jackets and the Vikings in 1 minute. Viking Sports Network.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
All right, the Yellow Jackets won the toss. Joe, they want the football.
Yeah, they decided to take the football, and they're going to take it. They're going to be going from north to south, or like they say, left to right on your radio dial, right? Whatever. I hear people say that, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the dickens does that mean? But that's the way it looks to me right now.
Also going left to right on your screen if you're watching tonight. So Robert Jackson back deep along with Caleb Thomas. Austin Johnson will kick it off, and one of these teams going to get a win tonight. Let's hope it is Missouri Valley.
Ken, I get the Dummy of the Week award. Thursday night, instead of watching that great Chiefs victory over the Patriots, I chose to go to the Royals game and watch them blow that lead in the ninth inning.
Okay.
So
you do.
I get the Dummy of the Week award.
I don't feel sorry for you there. I do not feel sorry for you. I was at home in my chair watching both events. Okay, so here we go. Johnson will kick it off. The Yellow Jackets in their white with their dark blue helmets, trimmed in gold, and Johnson into the football, sails this one deep, and it's going to be taken right at the goal line by Caleb Thomas. Thomas back to the left side. He has a seam, tries to turn the corner. He's across the 20 and wrestled down about the 24-yard line. So that's where the Yellow Jackets will go to work. Preston Compton is the quarterback. He's 67 out of 113. His running back will be Brandon English. But, boy, they will throw the ball all over the place. David Holland, Caleb Thomas, Taz Richardson, Adam Pasateri, they'll all be on the receiving end of some of these passes. And last week, Caleb Thomas caught 21 passes. So on first down, they're going to keep it on the ground. And the Vikings are there with a big stop as they try to hand the ball up. Not much there. It'll be second down. That was Rosado James Smith running the football, and nothing there. A loss on the play.
And I believe that was Kyle Brady who came in from the linebacker position and made that tackle. That was a nice open field tackle. Kyle got into that backfield and dumped the back for about looks like about a 2-yard loss.
We'll give you the Viking defense after this second down play. Now working out of the shotgun set as Compton takes the snap, backpedals, steps up, looks. He has some room to run. Now he's going to slide as he gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line. It'll bring up third down and about 8. Good coverage downfield. Nobody was open.
Yeah, very good coverage by the Vikings. Pretty good hook slide by Compton. Went down. He'd been safe if he'd been sliding into second base, I think.
And he went down before the rush got there. So 3rd and 9. Compton wants to throw. Throws it deep. Has a receiver who makes the catch at the 30 and will score. And the Yellow Jackets take the early lead. A perfectly thrown ball. And it's caught by Kyle Berge. And just like that, David Holland on the catch. And just like that, the Yellow Jackets strike 6-0.
Nothing fancy about that. Holland just broke right down that right side, kind of looked like a flag pattern, and beat the defender and got behind Compton, put the ball right on the money, and that looks like that's about a 76-yard touchdown pass.
Whew. Well, the Vikings burn in that defensive secondary. They've struggled in the defensive secondary. So just like that, the Yellow Jackets have the lead. The extra point attempt is up. It is no good. Wide to the right, but a great start for the Yellow Jackets. They lead it 6-0. And boy, this big crowd for Family Day, a little bit stunned with that one. We'll be right back.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty, something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
What a start for the Yellow Jackets as they score on a long pass play. Here's the kick, and this is going to be taken. That looks like that's Eldon Taylor back there. Taylor up the middle. Taylor has some room across the 40 to the 41-yard line. First time we've called his name a running back. He is a freshman, and he's the running back that the Vikings are very high on, and he gives the Vikings very good field position out at about the 41-yard line. It'll be first down for the Vikes.
Sophomore Dylan Mack, a running back out of Oceanside, California, made that stop on the special teams for Graceland. But like you say, a nice run back, so the Vikes set up shop at their own 40 for the first series. Let's see if we can strike as quickly as Graceland did.
Wow. And starting at running back tonight for Valley, Dre Kelly, the young man out of St. Louis. First down from the 41-yard line. And they give it, no. Now Jake's going to roll to his right. He has all kinds of room. Throws it. Stannard wide open. He can't make the catch at the 10. He had 10 yards on the closest Yellow Jacket, and the pass just overthrown. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, and Jake Bridges. Jake doesn't make many mistakes, but he'll beat himself up on that one. He had Stannard wide open out there. Maybe could have put a little bit more air under the ball, but he threw it well. Just a little bit of mistiming, a little bit of an overshoot, but a great play fake by Bridges, a great route by Stannard.
Now the Vikings will work out of the empty backfield set here on second down and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Good crowd on this Saturday night, but Valley trailing 6-0 early. Jake throws the bubble screen. That's almost picked off. Wow. That was very dangerous. The pass was overthrown, and getting his hand on it was Jeff Sanders, a sophomore defensive back. As he's able to bring that one in, it's 13-0.
And Sanders got into that passing lane that time. If that ball had been a little bit lower, it would have been a pick six. So big third down play right now. Let's see what Coach Troth and the Vikings dial up.
Work out of the pistol here, trailing 6-0 early. Bridges waits for the snap. Had Dorian Stannard wide open, missed him, and then a bubble screen that was incomplete. Now the Vikes are going to run the ball on third down, and they'll get about 3 yards, and boy, a 3-and-out and a punt. And this Yellow Jacket team on the far side is jacked up right now as the Vikes missed on a big play, and they're going to have to punt it away after their first series. Drake Higgins will do that. He averages 38.7 yards a punt.
I think everybody in the stadium thought that was going to be a pass play, so the Vikes tried a little cross them up there, but good job by the interior of that Graceland linebacking crew to stop Kelly.
Back deep, Caleb Thomas. Higgins stands at about the 30, rushes on, low line drive. This could be returned as Thomas takes it on one bounce at the 12. The coverage is there. Suter hits him first, and down he goes at the 17-yard line. Elliott Suter rocked him, and he goes down at the 17.
How many times in the last 2 years have we mentioned Elliott Suter on these special teams? I mean, he just, when that ball's in the open field, he just has a nose for it.
Well, the Vikes go back to work defensively. They were burned the last. And that was Dalen Baxter who was beaten on that long touchdown pass. And Baxter's out there again, same combination as Baxter has the assignment. On first down, back to throw. Compton swings it out of the backfield. Nice gain across the 25 out to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, just a little pass out of the backfield, and like I think you said at the top of the broadcast, Graceland's going to try to get the ball to their playmakers. Defensive back Aaron Ross there to make the stop, but that's a nice gain on first down, gain of about 8. So second down and 2, ball just across 25-yard line. Yellow Jackets of Graceland up 6-0.
And they have a second down and 2. Want to run the ball, not going to get first down yardage. I don't think so. Kyraton Kilgore was the first one there to hit the ball carrier. And it's going to be a little bit shy. It'll be third and about 1, it looks like, for the Yellow Jackets. As again, carrying the football for the Yellow Jackets was Rosano James Smith.
Yeah, let's see if the Vikings can get some penetration here on defense. They should get good field position if they can hold, but only a yard to go.
Here they throw a quick out. It is caught. First down, 31-yard line. And that's what they like to do, just that quick pass out to the flat. It's caught. That's a first down. Yellow Jackets have the ball. They're quickly up to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a first down at their own 31-yard line. 11:37 to go first quarter. 6-0 Yellow Jackets.
That 3-yard pass, almost impossible to defend.
And here's Compton in trouble, and he's rolling out to his right. Pumps once, stays on his feet, now throws it away. Vikings chased him all the way to the sideline, could not bring him down, and he threw that one past the line of scrimmage, so that is a legal play to throw it away. It'll be second down and 10.
Good pressure that time by linebacker Kenneth Wilson, a sophomore out of University City, Missouri. Almost had him for a sack back there, but now it's going to be second down and 10, ball just across the 30-yard line.
Second down from the 31. Compton wants to throw. Steps up, throws, incomplete, going over the middle. Good coverage, good zone coverage by the Vikings, and Caleb Thomas unable to come up with the football. It'll be third and 10.
Boy, as usual, Coach Monty Rose shuffling defensive players in and out of the lineup. I know he tries to keep fresh legs out there, and you would call a lot of different names. There's Devon Henry going out there. Devon, a running back last year, now a defensive back.
Third down and 10 from the 31-yard line as Compton, working out of a shotgun, has time. Now the pocket collapses. He throws it deep. A receiver there, and it's incomplete. Oh, man, almost complete. One-on-one coverage, and Taz Richardson had his hands on the ball and was unable to hang on. Pretty good coverage. I think that was Aaron Ross.
And Aaron was beaten on the play, but he recovered very well, got back, got a hand on the ball, and knocked it away. So a great recovery job that time by Ross. So the Vikes hold, and now Graceland will have to kick it away. This will be their first punt. So Vikes should get pretty decent field position as they're going to drop Jakari Johnson back. He's going to stand back around his own 25-yard line to receive this kick.
Well, let's see if Jakari can have some return magic here. Punt will be from about the 15. Paloma Lewis does the punting. Stands at his own 15-yard line. Waits for the snap. Gets it. Vikings come on the rush, gets it away. Nice high punt.
Look out,
and the Vikes will stay away from this one. Now Dakari does pick it up, gets to the 40, up the sideline, to the 45-yard line. Took a nice high bounce, so he was able to come up and get it, and gets it out to the 45-yard line. So that's where the Vikings will take over, first and 10.
I think the Vikes were thinking stay away, and like you said, and that ball took a bounce and went right into the hands of Dakari, and he had a little bit of a lane down that left side, so he gets the ball out across the 45 out to about right at the 45. So Vikes will set up with their second drive, down 6-0. Just under 11 minutes here to go in the first quarter.
Broadcast brought to you by Heinzler Brothers in Marshall, Elmer Hare Ford Sales in Marshall, Aquaquest Hearing Centers, Marshall, Boonville, Sedalia. First down from the 46. Jake wants to throw. Now he scrambles up the middle. A lot of room to run inside the Graceland 45, all the way down to the 39-yard line. It'll be first and 10 for the Vikings there. Joe, I know we don't want to see that young man scramble a lot, but I think he's going to have to become a big part of the offense.
That's a big part of his game, too, that scramble. And I don't think he planned to run. I think that was a design pass play that time. But, boy, Jake saw a lane up the middle and takes it all the way across. That's a gain of about 16 yards.
We'll give you the offensive line after this first down play. As Khalil Smith goes in motion, they'll hand it off up the middle to Kenny. Sanford pushing the pile forward. Right along the numbers on the left side. Gets to the 35, a gain of 4. Onasai Satoa back in at left tackle. Dylan Ari, Daniel Munoz at center. Tyrone Petit and Josh Murtaugh the line. The starting tight end is Janko Beraz, but we'll see Mo Anglin in there as well. Dorian Stennard, Moses mentioned, Jakari Johnson, Gomez, Smith, they'll all be in there at receiver. Second down and about 6 from the 35-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
Like somebody moved on the left side for the Vikings. You know, Ken, this is kind of an anniversary game for Jake Bridges. If you remember, it was week number 2 last year. He came in midway through the first half in the Graceland game up in Lamona and really sparked the Vikings. So this is first team he played against last year.
You're right, and Vikings won that game and went on to a very successful season. But after the 5-yard penalty, it is second down and 11. Ball back at the 40-yard line, 6-0 Yellow Jackets. Vikings will keep it on the ground. Here's Sanford, tripped up, keeps his balance, however, cuts back to the middle to the 30-yard line, close to a first down. Kenny was going down right about the 40-yard line, able to get the left hand down, keep his knee off the ground, cut back to the middle, and picks up good yardage.
What a great balance that time. That should have been about a 3-yard loss, and Kenny turns it into a nice gain. So now it's going to be third and looks like third and about 1. Mitrione Smith made the stop for Graceland.
As mentioned, coming into this ball game, Sanford had 154 yards rushing. Third down and about a yard. Vikings want to pick up this first down, keep this drive alive. They send 2 wide receivers out to the right side. Give it off to Kenny up the middle. Big hole. First down. Stays on his feet inside the 20. All the way down to the 17-yard line. Running south to north right in between the hash marks. First down Valley.
Yeah, boy, Kenny kept those legs moving that time and just kept piling full steam ahead. He wasn't going down. And so a couple nice runs by Kenny, and the Vikes now set up shop. First and 10 inside the 20 down. Looks like about the 17-yard line, trailing by 6.
8:52 to go in the first quarter.
Looked like Marshawn Lynch on that run.
Boy, he just pounded that ball up the middle. First down from the 17-yard line. Valley moving into the red zone in Graceland territory. Jake takes the snap, hands it off to Kenny, looking for a hole, gets down to the 15, picks up 2.5 yards. It'll be second down and 8 from there.
Ken, you mentioned the new head coach at Graceland, also former Viking assistant Barry Rave. He was a defensive coordinator, I believe, at Graceland, and really put a pretty good defense together. I'm not sure where Barry went, but he left the
he left
Jacket
the program. He's back in Marshall, helping out with the Viking program a little bit, breaking down some film.
Okay, good.
Not on the actual coaching staff. Okay. Second down at about 7. Justice Clegg, who was a grad assistant at Valley, he is the offensive line coach for the Yellow Jackets. So it is second down and about 8. And the Vikings want to throw over the middle. Oh, and Khalil Smith dropped a sure touchdown. Oh, man. He cut right in front of the defensive back and dropped the football.
That hit him in a bad spot, right between the 1 and the 2 on his jersey.
Yeah, you have to make that catch. That was right there. He beat the coverage. Trying to cover was Mike Pierre, but that was a game time touchdown.
That was a good play fake by Bridges, and Khalil ran a good route, was wide open. Big third down play coming up here. Third looks like about 8.
Yeah, third down and 8. Austin Johnson in field goal range, but Valley doesn't want a field goal here. Now empty backfield as they send Sanford as a wide receiver out to the right side. Third and 8. Jake rolls to his left, looking to throw. Lob pass and throws it away. That ball was 15 yards out of the end zone. So the Viking drive stalls, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt. And to me, that's a victory for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, we wanted 6 out of that drive, and boy, should have gotten it. A nice pass by Bridges to Khalil Smith. Khalil just couldn't quite hang on. So let's see if at least with 7:42 left to play in the first quarter, let's see if the Vikings can get on the board.
Dakota Collins will hold. He's the backup quarterback for Austin Johnson. He's only attempted 1 field goal, and it was good from 36 yards out. This will be a 32-yard attempt between the hash marks. Good snap. Ball is up. Plenty of leg on this one, and it is no good. So really a victory for the Yellow Jackets, as the Vikings can't come away with a field goal, and with 7:37 to go in the first quarter, They're going to take over, and they lead it 6-0. This broadcast brought to you by Columbia Orthopedic Group, Davis Lawn Equipment in Marshall, and WK Family of Dealerships in Sedalia and Boonville. Well, missed field goal. And here come the Yellow Jackets again with that 6-0 lead. They have the ball at their own 20-yard line, and Compton back to throw. Not much of a rush. He's able to get this one off for a short gain. It actually turns into about a 5-yard gain. Gets the ball to Caleb Thomas. But, Joe, again, we've talked about it in the first 2 weeks. Vikings have to get some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, they do. And that time, Compton had a lot of time to pass. Linebacker Kyle Brady made the stop. But you get that ball to your backs out in the open field like that, they're usually going to get some positive yardage. So, yeah, need to get some pressure.
2nd down and 4. Well, you can just see the confidence right now of this Yellow Jacket team. Again, they swing this one out. Again, it's Thomas. Again, it's a 1st down. Working up the left sideline all the way out to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that little flip pass, and that was a nice block that time. And I think that block was thrown by wide receiver Taz Richardson as he freed the receiver up, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down. So a couple of just little flare passes to the backs out in the open, and Graceland makes the most out of it.
1st down at their own 35-yard line. Compton again rushes on. They're not going to get to him. He throws. That's about a 4-yard gain. Now they make it a 3-yard gain to the 39-yard line. The coverage was by Davon Henry, but about a 3-yard gain.
Good diving catch that time by Caleb Thomas for Graceland. So, defense needs a turnover, needs a big play here.
Yep. 2nd down and 7 from the 38-yard line. Compton again back to throw. Kilgore after him, can't get him. Throws it. Receivers open, and it's incomplete. And Davon Henry got there just in a nick of time to knock it away from Richardson. Joe, the ball may have been underthrown just a bit because Richardson had a couple of steps on Henry.
That looked like the play where Aaron Ross was beaten. That time Richardson had a couple steps, but give Davon Henry credit. He made a nice recovery. He got back. He found the receiver, found the ball, and knocked it away. So that's what you like to see, a guy not give up on a play, and he did that and made a big play.
So it is 3rd down and about 7. Now here's the sack, as this time Compton cannot get away, and he is brought down.
That's Devontae Wright, I believe, the freshman linebacker out of Lee Summit. Devontae got into the backfield that time and dumped Compton, and that's what the Vikings need to do, that linebacker blitz, and it paid off that time.
And because of that sack recorded by Devontae Wright, everybody in attendance tonight with a ticket can take advantage of the Big Mac for Sacks deal with the Marshall McDonald's. Show your ticket from tonight's game of the Marshall McDonald's for a free Big Mac. How about that?
Talk about food. We thank Darlene Arnett for the Vikings. Brings us chocolate chip cookies every game, and we certainly appreciate that.
We don't have a ticket. We'll go by McDonald's and say, well, we broadcast the game. Doesn't that count?
Yeah.
Here's the rushes on. The Vikings door. They may have partially got to that one. That is off the side of the punter's foot and will go out of bounds. Now a little bit of altercation around the 40. No flags were thrown.
Yeah. I don't think anybody got a hand on that ball, but great pressure by the Vikings as they had 3 or 4 guys in that Graceland backfield on that punt, and he more or less just shanked it off the side of his foot.
So that one goes out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. The player for the Yellow Jackets who was in on that little altercation was Chris Gay, but the officials did not throw a flag.
There are a couple of punches thrown there. They got a couple of pretty good jabs, it looked like.
So the ball's at the 48-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. They lead it 6-0. We're 5:23 to go, first quarter. And the handoff to Kelly. Bounces to the outside and is tripped up. Good tackle. He's just trying to get going to the outside. He was tripped up there. And it's going to be 3rd down, or 2nd down.
That's a nice stop. Number 33. I don't have him on my program.
Yeah, we'll have to check that. We don't have a 33
that was a
on the program.
Nice open field tackle.
I know who it was. It was, we'll check it. It was, he's a defensive lineman. We'll check that on.
I don't have him on my program.
It's Dion Betts. He's a linebacker.
Okay.
All right, and here is a procedure penalty now against the Vikings. Boy, this offense right now is struggling.
Yeah, I think that's the second penalty on the Vikings, second 5-yard penalty.
The tackle was by Deion Betts, who wears number 33.
Okay.
He had 21 tackles, and he is from Miami. A lot of these players on both teams, Joe, you have a lot of kids from the Texas area, from Houston, a lot from Miami, Daytona Beach, and that area. So I'm sure they're all thinking about family tonight, too, with another hurricane hitting the Florida area. A lot of great high school football in Florida. So we hope all their families are safe
Certainly
tonight.
pray for those folks down there and hope everything turns out okay.
Second down after yet another penalty. 4:28 first quarter. Yellow Jackets lead at 6-0. Bridges, empty backfield. Throws to the side. It's complete. A very short gain by Jakari Johnson. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be up 3rd down and 10.
Mike Pierre, junior defensive back out of Little Hayti, Florida, made that stop. But, like you said, a short gain. So it's going to be 3rd down and looks like 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. So have the ball just barely across midfield in Graceland territory. So we'd like to convert. Under 4 minutes to go, 6-0. Yellow Jackets on that long 76-yard touchdown pass on the first series of the game.
Vikings had a chance to tie. Khalil Smith couldn't hang on. 3rd down, Jake rolling to his right. They're going to protect him. He throws it. He's got a receiver there. Makes the catch inside the 15, all the way down to about the 10-yard line. And that is B.J. Matthews who makes the catch. I think that's his first catch of the year, and it's 1st down for the Vikings.
Yeah, B.J., a freshman out of Garland, Texas. Bridges on a dead run when he threw the ball, and he hit B.J. on a dead run and made the catch. So nice conversion that time, and that's what the Vikings needed there, and that sets them up. 1st and 10 in the red zone down, looks like about the 11-yard line.
Mo Anglin checks in as a tight end for the Vikings. A little extra blocking in there, but it is an empty backfield. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Jake takes the snap. May have a free play. The flag's down. It'll be an offside. Jake has a free play. Throws it into the end zone. It's caught by Mo Anglin, the tight end for the touchdown. And I think the play will stand. It should be offside on the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I think it was.
So Anglin has the touchdown.
And I'll tell you, Graceland getting no pressure at all on Jake Bridges. So it looks like the Viking offensive line doing a good job.
Offside, penalty declined. First touchdown catch of the year for Mo Anglin. The Vikings now have 6 touchdowns through the air in the 2017 season. They've tied the game at 6.
Ken, that was a 4-play, 55-yard drive to tie this up. Let's see if the Vikes can take the lead here.
Again, it was a 3rd and 10, the big pass to Matthews. So Johnson trying to give the Vikes the lead. 7-6 here in the first quarter. Collins holds. And this kick is up, and it is good. Vikings lead 7-6. Mo Anglin with a touchdown reception from Jake Bridges. 3 minutes, 11 seconds to go. First quarter of the Viking Sports Network. We'll be right back.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. So here's a 26-second message of encouragement.
Hey, I'm Matt. I know, sometimes you think no one cares if I finish high school, right? Well, I do. Me and thousands of people you've never even met. Okay, here's the thing. When you graduate, you have better opportunities to make more money, have a cool job, life. So the next time you need a little support, a little motivation, just know there are a whole lot of shoulders for you to lean on. So stay in school and graduate.
Do you have 26 seconds to convince a student to stay at their desk? Now you can share your message of support at boostup.org. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Austin Johnson's kickoff goes out of bounds, so the Yellow Jackets have good field position. They'll have the ball at the 35-yard line to start this drive.
Yeah, Austin usually pretty dependable. Many times this year so far he's driven that ball into the end zone, but that one kind of hooked a little bit and went out of bounds on the left side of the field. So now the Vikings, somebody not in there, looks like, is that Taylor Palade hustles onto the field on defense.
So it's going to be first down from the 35-yard line after the kick goes out of bounds. Compton back to throw, launches deep again, and this one is batted up in the air and incomplete. Well, they're going to keep trying it, and this time, pretty good coverage by Trey Johnson.
Yeah, Trey Johnson, and Trey Trey's not that big. He only listed him at 5'8", and he's going up there against Big Holland, but he got right up in his wheelhouse right there and knocked it away. So nice defensive play by the small defensive back for the Vikings.
Holland is from Missouri, from Ashland, Missouri. Played his high school ball at Southern Boone. Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass by Compton, who comes into this game 67 out of 113. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He now has 5 touchdowns. Here's a flag, 3-man rush out of the backfield, and they turn the corner of the 40 to the far side of the field and goes out of bounds at about the 43 is Caleb Thomas. But there is a flag down. Let's see what the penalty is all about.
Yeah, new name for the Vikings, junior linebacker Chad Chitney made the stop over there on the far side.
Sideline warning on the Vikings.
Okay, yeah, guys, let's watch that sideline. Don't worry about what goes on the field, but let's keep an eye on that sideline.
So it is third down and about 3 yards to go.
Chitney, a nice open field tackle that time. He hails from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas. Third down, we'll call it about 3 yards. They have to get, obviously, to the 45. The drive started on the 35. Empty backfield for Compton. Well, now he has a running back there with him, and they want to keep the ball on the ground. Another flag, and he's not going to get the first down. I believe that was Caleb Thomas. Ball is loose, but the play was blown dead.
Yeah, pretty good job by the Vikings that time reacting to that play to the outside. And I think it's going to be against Graceland, but let's see.
It's going to be 4th down and 3 if the play stands. Hey, sideline warning on Graceland. All right, now we've warned everybody.
We're all even. Everybody in this place has been warned. One more high fastball, and somebody's going to get kicked out of the game.
That's right. All right. They're going to go for it, or?
I think they're going to kick, I would think. I don't know. They're still in their own territory, yeah.
Looks like they're going to go for it now. And that'll be Paloma Lewis. He had one pretty decent punt, a nice high spiral, and then he had one go off the side of his foot. Jakari Johnson back to receive this punt. New punter in there this time. They will change it around. Makana Manoa will punt this time.
See if Jakari Johnson gets another nice candy hop like he got the last time.
Manoa gets the snap, rushes up the middle. They're going to fake it, and they got the first down.
Nice play.
Manoa throws it to Thomas. They get the first down just across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Devon Henry made the stop. Had a little bit of trickery by Graceland that time. That's why they had a new punter in there. He's not a punter. He's a passer.
And he threw a nice strike to Thomas and reached out and picked up the first down at the 46. 7-6 Vikings, late first quarter. First down at the 46-yard line. They want to keep the ball on the ground. Loss of a yard. Good job by the Vikings. That looks like that old Viking defense.
That's big Carlton Kilgore. Carlton from that nose tackle position got good penetration that time and got into the backfield, and that's going to be a loss of about 2 yards. So good penetration by the big guy. And again, Carlton, don't look for same number. He's number 6 this year.
Second down. Rushes on. Compton scrambling. He turns it upfield and steps out of bounds at the 43-yard line, shy of the first down. Good pursuit by the Vikings, and it'll be third down and long, third and about 12 as he went out of bounds, and Kyronton Kilgore will have to come out. Kyronton's been bothered by a thigh injury the last year and a half, and he's coming out again.
Good pressure that time by both Devontae Wright and Miles Campbell to force Compton out of bounds.
So third down at about 12. As Compton takes a look at the sideline over at Coach Mark Kolb. Ball is at the left hash mark. Takes the snap. Rushes on. Throws it deep and overthrows his intended receiver. And once again, that was David Holland. Man, he's got to be getting tired. That's about the 5th time he has taken off and just sprinted downfield.
I'll tell you who looks like he's not tired. That's Viking defensive back Aaron Ross. He was with Holland step for step that time, so good coverage.
Well, let's see if they'll actually punt it away this time.
I think they will this time. I'd bet on it anyway.
And once again, Manoa stays in there to punt it. So they actually lost a couple of yards after getting the first down on the pass on the fake punt. Manoa waits for the snap at the 29, gets it. He is going to let it go, and this one's
not very good.
Kind of a wobbly spiral. The Vikings need to stay away from it, and I think one of the Vikings touched that ball.
I think it just hit somebody.
Unbelievable. Paul Croft was pointing and saying, "Hey, it hit their guy first." And I think that's what happened.
It
Joe.
looked
I think
like
it hit one of the
the
Yellow
two
Jackets
guys
first.
simultaneously. They're both, and that's when your teammates have to say, "Get out of the way," because sometimes you're downfield, you don't see that ball, and somebody's got to tell you, "Hey, get away from it." But
yeah, I think they say Mike Pierre touched it first.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
And Paul Troth was right there pointing.
Paul's always willing to help the officials out.
So the ball is at the 29-yard line. That's where the Vikes will take over, leading by a single point late first quarter. You're listening to KMMO Marshall, KMVC Marshall, and watching and listening on moval.edu. Glad to have you with us on the Viking Sports Network. First down, 29-yard line. Kenny Sampson in the backfield. Sanford is in the backfield, and they're going to give him the football. Number 7 looks for a seam up the middle, gets a yard or maybe 2, and that's it. Someone pulled him down by his ankles. Kenny out of Columbus, Ohio.
There's a nice hole there, but that hole closed down quickly. Now Kenny Sanford looks like he's boogered up. He's limping off the field, or he's going to stay on the field, I think, but looks like he's limping just a little bit. Now he's going to come out, and I think Dre Kelly's going to come back in. So Kenny looks like maybe a knee or an ankle.
So Dre Kelly, the freshman, will check in, and Sanford is out, and the trainers are right there with him. And that is the end of the first quarter. So, end of the first quarter, 7-6, Valley with the lead and the football. We're coming back on the Viking Sports Network.
Kenny looks like he's in a lot of pain.
The following message is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Your stuff can be a resource for change. Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org.
Well, we start the second quarter. 7-6 Vikings. It's second down and 8. Kenny Sanford being attended to on the sideline.
Great fake.
Ray Kelly takes the fake. Now they give it to Big Mo Anglin. Mo liked it. A touchdown, and now he rumbles up the left sideline. Stays on his feet into Graceland territory on the far side, all the way down to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Mike Pierre finally brought him down, but that's about the third good play fake by Jake Bridges, and Anglin ran a little out pattern, caught the ball, and a great job by Mo of running after he made the catch, and he takes the ball right to midfield. So Vikes 1st and 10 just underway in the second quarter. Missouri Valley on top, 7-6.
Vikings trying to extend this lead. Now they say the knee was down right at midfield. Here's Jake rolling to his right. Throws, and he overthrows Matthews, and Matthews had a step on the defender, Mytrone Smith, but a little too much on that one by the sophomore quarterback.
I tell you, Vikes look like they've got some receivers. B.J. Matthews, this is the first time we've really talked much about him, but he made that big catch to set up the touchdown a little while ago, and then of course you got Stenard, you got Johnson, so you got Khalil Smith, so you got some guys that can make some plays out in that open field.
And Jay Kirk just checks in, a 5'11 sophomore out of St. Louis. Second down and 10 from midfield, 7-6 Valley. Early second quarter. We'll talk about the winners of the other games today as we go along. Only one game tonight, Peru and Evangel. Jake throws, and he throws it by Dre Kelly coming out of the backfield, running a little fade pattern toward the Yellow Jacket bench, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I want to keep this drive alive. The Vikings have not a lot of momentum, but they do have the momentum now since they scored the last touchdown, so you'd like to take advantage. Pretty good field position. Let's see if we can convert on a big 3rd down play. See if Jake can dial up something big here.
Everyone takes a look at the wristbands for the play. Matthews comes out. A couple of speedsters lined up to the right side. Dorian Stenard, and right behind him, Jakari Johnson on a 3rd down and 10 from midfield. Ball on the left hash mark. And Jake wants to throw over the middle. It is caught by Khalil Smith, now dropped and intercepted. Oh, Khalil had it, lost it, and it went right into the hands of Mike Pierre, and that's a turnover.
Yeah, Khalil had that ball. A good throw by Bridges. Khalil had it, and boy, Pierre took it right out of his hands. So a nice play by the defensive back, Pierre. Boy, that play happened down around the 20, between the 20 and the 25-yard line, so that would have set the Vikings up in great shape. But got to hang on to the ball.
He dropped a touchdown pass earlier, and he got to hang on to that one. You're right. He was there. Should have had it. The other thing is, you start doing that, then Jake's going to start looking somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
First down at the 28-yard line after the interception. And the Yellow Jackets back in business, trailing by only a point. Here comes the rush. Compton going to roll away from it. Throws, completes it at the 29-yard line. A gain of only a yard to Taz Richardson. It slipped, went down to a knee. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Ted Compton ran a long way that time to get 1 yard.
Yeah. For Bridges, that was his 5th interception of the year. And that one wasn't
you
really
can't really put that one on him. It'll count on him, but it really shouldn't.
2nd down and 9. A gain of only a yard on that short pass to Richardson. Once again, Compton back to throw over the middle. There's his big receiver, and he may take this one. Inside the 30, all the way down to the 23-yard line goes David Holland in besides 4 defenders, and it's first down at the 22 for the Yellow Jackets, and once again, the Vikings defensive backs get burned.
That's looks like about a 47-yard gain, I'm going to guess.
Wow. First down at the 22 for the Yellow Jackets. Compton rolling, throwing to the outside, wide open, inside the 20, down to the 11-yard line goes Caleb Thomas, and wow, the Yellow Jackets are taking this Viking defense apart.
And once again, Compton, good time to throw. He found Thomas open in that right flat and put it right there. So that's enough for another first down. This is going to be inside the 10. It's a 1st and goal, I believe.
1st and goal from the 10. Compton rolls. Now he's going to take off. He's sacked back at the 12. So it'll be 2nd and goal from there. Nice.
Yeah, Taylor got the tackle there. Taylor, a senior linebacker out of Paradise, California. Nice open field tackle that time.
2nd and goal from the 12. In the backfield is Rosano James Smith.
Got to get pressure.
Compton backpedals to the 18. They throw the screen. It is caught at about the 8-yard line. Vikings are there to blow it up, but they allowed that rush to come in, flipped it over the top. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 7. Smith made the catch, short gain.
Devon Henry out there to make that stop. So big play right here. 3rd down and inside the 10. Ball right around, as you said, around the 7. Goal to go.
3rd down. We're in the 2nd quarter. Vikings lead, but the Yellow Jackets knocking at the door. Compton throws to the corner. It's knocked down. Good play.
Is that Devontae Wright? I'm trying to see. No, it's not. It's Gregory Johnson.
I think it was Johnson.
Or Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson made the play, I believe.
Good job, and the pass was intended for Taz Richardson. So now let's see what the Yellow Jackets do. Are they going to kick the field goal to go for the lead? They're going to go for it here.
Good news. Kenny Sanford at least is on his feet walking around down on the sideline.
Well, they're going to go for it. There's no indication of a field goal attempt here. They've had some kicking problems, so they're going to go for it. Compton on 4th down and goal from the 7.5. Rushes on. He's hit as he throws. It's caught. Touchdown! Touchdown on 4th down, and the Yellow Jackets regain the lead. Wow. Caleb Thomas makes the catch. And the Yellow Jackets on 4th down score to make it 12-7.
Yeah, nice drive that time. That was a 73-yard touchdown drive in 7 plays.
Oof. So, this crowd is stunned and quiet, and the Yellow Jackets having some fun. 11:59 to go. Now flags all over the place. Remember, they missed 1 extra point already. Trying to kick this one will be Darnell Urin.
I think you'd almost go for 2, but the good coaches will say you don't chase points this early in the game. You just play the game.
Well, this penalty is on the Vikings, so now that may change their strategy. It was 4th and goal from the 7, and they went for it, and they got it.
Tell you, Compton, not a bad quarterback. His line's giving him time to throw, and he's doing a good job finding open receivers.
Huron will attempt the extra point. And he'll take a couple of steps off to his left. Here's the snap. Kick is on the way, and he boots this one through. 13-7. Graceland with a lead. 11:59 to go to first half. We're back with the kickoff in a moment on the Viking Sports Network.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
On the kickoff, Vikings get it back to the 31-yard line. That's Elton Taylor bringing it back, and so the Vikes will take over there. But boy, trailing here in this second quarter by the score of 13-7.
Tiberius Horn, a freshman, there to make the stop on Taylor in the open field. So the Vikes will set up 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line, trailing by a touchdown.
31-yard line. Remember, the Vikes had an interception on a pass that was dropped by Khalil Smith.
And that could have been a 12-point, 14-point play.
Vikes want to throw. Yep. Give it off to Jakari. Jakari breaks a couple of tackles, gets out to the 46. And, Joe, I think that's what Valley has to do. Get the ball to your playmakers in space. You have better athletes out there. Get them the ball and let them go.
I would doubt that there's anybody on this field that's any more talented athletically than Jakari Johnson. He's got speed, he's got moves, and he's a pretty savvy runner when he gets the ball. So.
Yeah, it's a first down at the 46-yard line. Jake ducks under the pressure, throws to the side. Jakari reaches out, makes the catch, breaks a tackle to the 40. He's up the sideline, stays inbounds, spins, and gets all the way down to the 25-yard line of the Yellow Jackets on a 2-yard pass and about a 35-yard run.
And that's about as good a job of making something out of nothing that you'll ever see by Jake Bridges and Jakari Johnson. 2 guys had Jake in the backfield. Somehow he spun out, just kind of flipped it out to Jakari, and Jakari did the rest. And Vikes knocking on the door now down at the 25-yard line, trying to regain the lead here early in the second quarter.
11:14 to go in the quarter.
Not too big a crowd from Lamoni on the far side over there, doesn't look like.
They're 0-2, the Vikes 0-2. Good crowd here. It's family weekend. Yeah. Vikes on first down. Here's the throw, and this one is to Sinar. Dorian with a left-hand stiff arm, and then gets out of bounds inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. Nice gain on first down. It'll be second and about 3.
Well, Ken, all 3 plays in this drive has been consisted of Jake Bridges getting the ball to a couple of his playmakers out in open space, and all 3 plays have worked well. That's a gain of about 8 on the play, so going to be second down and 2, ball just outside the 20, or just inside the 20-yard line at about the 17.
Vikings trying to regain the lead. They trail 13-7. Bridges keeps Sanford in with him, gives it to Kenny. Now they run a reverse to Stenard. Stenard works left side. He's to the 15, hurls one tackler inside the 10, down to the 8. First and goal. Faked it to Sanford, gave it to Stenard on the end around. He hurdled one would-be tackler at the 12 and gets inside the 10, first and goal.
You know, Ken, and interesting, 2 years ago on this same week, the 3rd week of the year, the Vikings ran that same play to beat Benedictine out in Atchison in overtime.
Yep.
Stenard taking it on the right side and going around to the left. Almost broke that one to the house, too.
First and goal, about the 7-yard line. The lights are on here, starting to take effect as the sun sets behind us. Now we have a timeout. 10:08 to go in the first half. The Yellow Jackets lead it 13-7. We'll be back in a moment on the Viking Sports Network.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Well, after the timeout, it's first and goal for the Vikings at the 7-yard line, left hash mark. Jake wants to throw over the middle. Caught. Dorian Stenard, touchdown. One-on-one coverage, and Dorian's going to win that battle most of the time. Young man out of Daytona Beach, and I'm sure his family's on his mind tonight. Foot-handed senior receiver, one of our captains, makes the catch, and that ties it at 13.
Yeah, Ken, that was a 5-play, 69-yard drive for the Vikings.
So, Austin Johnson will attempt the extra point to give Valley the lead. Collins holds, ball down, kick is on the way. This one is up, and it is good. 14-13, Valley with the lead. Kickoff coming up in a minute, Viking Sports Network.
Dad, I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Here's the kickoff. And it's going to be taken at about the 2-yard line. And back to the 10, 15, working the right side across the 20 to the 24-yard line. And there's that man again. He's everywhere. David Holland. He has had quite a first half, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's a good big receiver, good all-around athlete. Nice stop that time in the open field by freshman Daniel Williams out of Houston, Texas on the Viking kickoff team. Graceland sets up first and 10, look like right about their own 25-yard line.
Well, both teams have shown they can score. So what defense is going to step up and make a play? Ball at the 25-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. And Compton's going to take off. He faked the handoff, and then I don't know if that was a busted play or not.
Mr. Suter was waiting for him, I think.
Suter made the tackle, and that is, no gain. Maybe a half a yard. It may have been a busted play at 2nd down and 10. Didn't fool number 42, did it? Mr. Suter was right there.
Yeah, he was. Ken got a score. Chaz Maddie just told us Missouri on top of South Carolina 3-0. Not sure where it is in the game. But
here is a
there
sack.
We go. There we go.
This time, Compton trying to get away, and the Vikings corral him and sack him back at the 18-yard line.
Dedrick Allen, I think.
Dedrick was in there. Yep. Kyraton's in there. Miles, I think all three said, hey, we'll all take a part of that one. Good job. That's the second sack for the Vikings tonight. And that brings up 3rd down and about 16. Ball at the 19-yard line. Compton will wait for the snap, take it, Rushes on again. He's in trouble again. Hit from behind. Down he goes again. This time back at the 17-yard line. And it was Elliott Suter who just shot after the quarterback and ran him down.
By far the best defensive series of the night so far for the Vikings. They got good pressure on Compton, got right in his wheelhouse, and nothing doing for Graceland. Vikes should get it back with pretty good field position. 8.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Vikes up by 1.
Eldon Taylor, now they're going to bring Jakari Johnson in to receive this punt. Well, it wasn't Elliott Suter. He was fast getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, he caught him from behind.
Lewis is back inside his own 5 to punt. Rushes on. Vikings peel away now.
Nice kick.
High
Wow.
spiral. And Jakari makes the fair catch at the 39. Nice punt by Lewis.
Wise decision by Jakari. That ball had great hang time.
Now, that may have been Manoa. Yeah, that was Manoa again who did the punting. They had Lewis as the first-team punter, but Manoa, and I'll tell you, he punts like that, he's going to have a job all year.
That's about as high a hanging punt as I've seen in a long time.
That was a good job by him. At halftime, we're going to visit with the president of Missouri Valley College, Dr. Bonnie Humphrey. We're also going to talk with both soccer coaches. Drew Hawkins, his team won today. And I believe the men are playing Kansas Wesleyan today on the road. They're undefeated, ranked number 8. Valley Simic will join us as well. So that's all coming up at the half. First down to the 39-yard line for the Vikings, who lead by a point. Now they give this one off to Jakari. Tries to get to the corner, gets there to the 45-yard line. Handoff, and the defense was there, and Jakari just outran him to the Vikings side of the field. And he'll pick up decent yardage. And it'll be second down and about 8. He picked up 9 yards, Joe, and he really didn't have anything there.
Well, nice block that time by Drake Kelly. Thaddeus Watson, sophomore defensive lineman out of Arlington, Texas, there to make the stop for Graceland. But like you said, nice game by Jakari. Got 9 yards on the play.
Vikings up 14-13. Second down and a yard from their own 48-yard line. Now Bridges drops the snap and has to cover it up. I think Jake was looking to hand it off to Stenard or whatever the play was going to be before he had control of it. Wasn't a bad snap by Munoz, so it's third down and about 5.
That's like receivers do a lot of times. They start to run with the ball before they catch it, and that's kind of what Jake did that time.
So now, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, it was third. Now so it was 2nd 1. Now it's back to, like you said, 3rd and 5.
Ball is back at the 44-yard line of the Vikings. They lead by a single point here, 14-13 with 7:09 to go in the first half. Big crowd on hand tonight, Family Day.
Freshman Moses Minchin in at one of the wide receiver spots for Valley.
Vikings need to get to midfield for the first down. Jake rolling to his left. And he's still rocking. Now he's going to run back to the right. He has all kinds of room to run now. Picks up a block. Has a first down at midfield. Gets out of bounds at the 44-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Went all the way to the left. Spun. Came all the way back to the right. Picked up a nice block and gets a first down.
Is that what you call vintage Jake Bridges? Hey, he ran. Jake got his sprints in for the night right there. He probably ran about 40 yards on that play.
And I'll see who gave him the good block. I believe the good block was from the center, Daniel Munoz. So first down at the 44. Hand it off. Here's Trey Kelly. Gets to the outside. Pulled down by the jersey by the linebacker Betts. He was down at the 36-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Nice first down gain. Second down and 2.5 coming up.
Kenny Sanford really isn't there. He's coming back in now. I'm not sure. Kenny kind of limped off the field a little while ago, but he looks like he's running okay right now. So kind of rotating Sanford and Kelly in at that running back position.
Vikings leading by just a single point, 14-13, 6:02 to go in the first half. Vikings will have the ball to start the second half. They'd like another one right here. Oh, man. And once again, the offensive line just did not have the snap count. And that is just a mental mistake. And it is Onasai Satoa. He stood up and started to move toward the sideline. A good snap and a count and a half before the ball was snapped.
You had second down and 2. Now you've got second down and 7.
Let's see if that changes the play. The Vikings were penalized over 100 yards last week. Bridges with 10 on the play clock Takes the snap at the 45. Looks left, throws it left, trying to get it deep. It is caught, I believe, at the 10-yard line. Matthews takes it away from the defender. Or they're going to, yeah, that's a first down. The defender thought incomplete, but great catch by Matthews in traffic.
Well, and he was covered that time, and BJ just went up, made a play, just went up, took that ball away, and boy, that's the, I think that's the third catch of the game by BJ, and the second long pass from Bridges.
So it's 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Mention stays in the lineup. First down, left hash mark, 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Bridges moves up toward the line. Now backs away to the 14-yard line. Takes the snap, wants to throw, steps up in the pocket. He's going to scramble to the outside. Jakes, pump fake, gets to the 5, dives to the pylon on the right side. Ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to rule him into the end zone. Touchdown. He dove for that pylon. The ball hit the pylon. And, Joe, that's the first rushing touchdown for the Vikings this year.
Well, and Jake deserved that one. He made several big throws, a couple of good runs during that play, and that was a, looks like a 61-yard drive in the 6 plays for the Vikings.
We're watching on the replay, on the video, Jake, a little pump fake, got inside the 5, dove, put the ball in his left hand, and touched the pylon with his left hand.
Yeah, he had a great job.
That is a touchdown. Collins will hold. Johnson will attempt the extra point. Ball is on the way. It is up. It is good. And now the Vikings have the lead, 21-13. Kickoff coming up in a minute on the Viking Sports Network.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Nice kick this time by Austin Johnson. It goes into the end zone. It's grabbed there by David Holland, but he takes a knee, and the Yellow Jackets will get it on the touchback.
Even Holland, the gifted athlete he is, couldn't do anything with that one.
That was a good kick by Austin.
All right, and the defense really looked good that last drive. Got good penetration, got into Compton's lap several times in that backfield. Let's see if they can bring the same type of pressure here as Graceland will set up shop 1st and 10.
To 25 yards.
Their own 25.
It's good to see out there for the Vikings Steve Middendorf. Remember, he injured a leg.
Yeah.
And it was an ankle injury. We're worried it was worse than that, but it's an ankle injury. Antoine Palmer, we talk about everyone from Houston. He was from Houston, and I said, his family's all right. It's pretty scary when those hurricanes come through, but a lot of these kids from both teams from those two areas. And here is Compton going to slide, and at the 35-yard line picks up about 5 yards, and making sure he stayed down, you don't really need to do that, was Gregory Johnson.
You know, you talk about Steve Middendorf, could not afford to lose another defensive lineman. Have already lost starter Justin Aguilar for the year, so didn't need for Steve to be out for the rest of the season, so good to see him back there.
2nd down and 5 from the 35-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. They'll throw that little bubble screen, and it works for decent yards and a first down as they get it to Jalen McCarty, and he really takes a shot, stays on his feet, and picks up a first down on the Vikings sideline at about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, Gregory Johnson really put a pop on him, but give McCarty credit. He bounced off that pop and gained a couple more yards, so that is a first down.
Better watch number 86.
Yeah.
About time for him to go deep. First down to the 43-yard
There he
line.
goes.
Compton rolls. He's going to take off. He is going to be dropped right at the line of scrimmage. That will not be considered a sack, I don't think, because he got back to the line. But Mekhi Burnley got him.
Burnley, the freshman out of Jeff City, got in there and made a nice open field tackle on Compton. So big second down play here. Second down and 9. Ball on the 45-yard line. Vikings up by 8. 3:20 left in the half.
Ball is at the left hash mark. Compton bouncing around in the pocket. Pocket collapses, and down he goes. And that is Dedrick Allen with the sack all the way back at the 37-yard line.
A couple of very nice defensive series by the Vikings the last 2 times Graceland's had the ball. Really dialed the pressure up, and Compton had Holland going deep that time. I think that's who he wanted to throw the ball to, but the Vikings not giving him anywhere close to enough time to drop back and heave it. All right, third down.
Third and a bunch for Compton. Throws it deep down the sideline. It is incomplete. The ball was out of bounds. There was no way that was going to be caught. So it's going to be fourth down to the punt. By the way, a couple of sacks tonight. So that means if you were at the game tonight and you have a ticket, take advantage of the Big Mac for Sacks deal with the Marshall McDonald's. Show your ticket from the game for a free Big Mac through tomorrow evening.
2 sacks. Do we get the Big Mac and French fries?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just the one
All right,
Big
okay,
Mac.
all right,
That'd be
okay,
kind of good, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good comment. Hey, give Trey Johnson credit. Trey's not very big, but he's going step for step with these receivers in that backfield.
So a punting situation. Manoa, nice job on the last punt. Vikes will get it, and they have some time. Here comes the rush up the middle. This one off the side of the foot, and this one will go out of bounds at about the Viking 35. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Well, with Manoa, it's a real good punt, and then a bad punt. Real good punt, bad punt.
Yeah, last time, boy, he hung that ball. It seemed like it hung up in the air forever, but this not so good. So Vikes will get fairly decent field position set up at their own 34-yard line, and they've got 2.5 minutes before the half. And like Ken said a minute ago, the Valley should get the ball to start the second half.
Now let's see if we can get one more here. Before the half, leading 21-13.
Vikes at their own 34.
Kenny Sanford back in at that running back spot. The ball is on the left hash mark as the Vikings move left to right. North to south. Jake with the running touchdown the last time the Vikings had the ball. Now he'll set up the screen, throw it back.
Khalil.
Good catch by Khalil Smith. Turns the corner. Khalil into Graceland territory up that left sideline. Inside the 30 and finally run out of bounds at the 27. Showed his speed, didn't he?
Oh, he did.
His first
catch.
catch.
That looks like about a 40. I'm trying to kind of do my math here. It looks like almost about a 39, 40-yard run that time after the catch by Khalil.
And they put the ball at the 27-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. The Vikings now trips to the right side. 2:13 and counting first half. Beautiful night here on September the 9th. Empty backfield. Bridges. Pump fake. Now looks. Rolls to his left. Being chased. He is going to take off. Gets inside the 25 and quickly gets out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. It'll be second down. And let's say about 5 yards to go.
Can you imagine you and I trying to chase Jake Bridges around all night? Man, I bet after you play 4 quarters trying to run him down, you would be tired.
Well, Curtis Freeman, that's why I was chuckling, 320 pounds, was trying to chase him down, and Curtis got tired, man.
He's going, stop.
Trying to catch a water bug. Second down and 6. Gain of 4 before Bridges went out of bounds. Jake not very big, but is he ever quick. Second and 6 inside the 25-yard line, left hash mark. 2 wide receivers right, 2 left. Jake didn't like what he saw, and he's going to take a timeout. 1:57 to go, first half. 21-13, Vikings with the ball and driving. We're back in a moment on the Vikings Sports Network.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present. When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium. When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash. I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
After the timeout, Vikings have the ball, 2nd down and 6 at the Graceland 23-yard line. Empty backfield. Bridges rolls to his right. Looks and throws it that way and skips this one to Dorian Stannard. Stannard went to the knee, but pass was a little short at the 18-yard line. Bring up 3rd down. Peak Sport and Spine of Fayette, Marshall, Sedalia. Lime Cooler Insurance Services and Viking Athletic Goods of Marshall, pleased to bring you this broadcast of Missouri Valley College football on KMMO Marshall, KMVC Marshall, and Mobile.edu.
This new video screen that Chaz Matty set up really looked good till he put the camera on us here a little while ago, and that kind of dropped the ratings quite a bit.
It's easier to watch that than it is to actually look at the field.
I know it.
So it's 3rd down and 7 from the 23-yard line. Again, empty backfield. Jake dancing around, now takes off up the middle. He's inside the 20. Jake to the 15 and slides at the 1st down at the 13-yard line. I mean, that knee hit and he popped right back up. 1st down inside the 15.
Nice job by the Viking offensive line. They gave Jake a lot of time. Give the Graceland defensive backs credit. Everybody was covered, so Jake tucked it and ran and made a good play. Got a 1st down. That's inside the, like you said, inside the 15. So Vikes can still pick up a 1st down at about the 3.
1.5 minutes to go in the 1st half. Vikes want a touchdown here. They have just, I believe, 1 timeout with which to work. And Bridges wants to throw, pumps once. Now he's in trouble. He rolls to his right. He gets away from the rush, and he's going to throw this one to the sideline. It's caught by Jakari Johnson, and then gets out at about the 6. I mean, he was right on that Viking sideline, but he makes the catch and then got out of bounds.
And, Ken, how much more time does Jake Bridges have time to operate tonight than he did last week against William Penn? This offensive line doing a nice job right now.
Timeout is taken by Graceland. This defense wants to talk about. Those guys have to be tired, as you pointed out, chasing Jake Bridges around all night long.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank Shelter Insurance Agents, Terry Townsend and Marshall, Troy Brockman and Concordia, and Russell Kirby and Slater, and Weber Seed Incorporated, Wood Houston Bank, and Fitzgibbon Hospital, all of Marshall, for making these broadcasts possible tonight. We're home again next week. It's an 11 o'clock start. Peru will be here. It's a TV game, but it's an 11 o'clock start. We'll have our pregame show at 10:30. 10:30 next Saturday morning.
And then in 2 weeks, one of our most memorable trips, we head to Des Moines and get to broadcast from a tent out in the stands.
Out in the stands in Des Moines. And thank goodness it's an early season game when the weather will still cooperate.
Let's hope. Let's keep praying.
Well, after this defensive timeout, the Yellow Jackets had a 6-0 lead. Then they led it by the score of 12-7. And the Vikes have scored the last 2 and threatening to score again. All right, here's the Vikes can get a 1st down at the 4. It's 2nd down and 3 from the 7-yard line. In the backfield, Kenny Sanford gets the handoff, spins.
He got it. He's right
close
at
to
it.
a 1st down at the 4. Clock will move. Plenty of time, 58 seconds. Well, they're not going to give it to him. They're going to say 3rd down.
He's very close, but can't be very far away. They moved it back a little bit. I think he maybe has to get to about the 3 to get the 1st down, and they've got it spotted right about the 4.
Down to 40 seconds to go. It's 3rd down. Crowd getting a little restless, but plenty of time if you pick up the 1st down here. And they give it off to Sanford. Kenny has the 1st down, fights toward the goal line. He'll be a little shy, about 2 yards shy. So they'll stop the clock now.
Hey, would this be a good time for Kenny to get his first rushing touchdown of the season?
He doesn't have one. Again, only 1 rushing touchdown for the Vikings, and that was in this game by Jake Bridges. 27 seconds. They'll mark the ball.
Kenny's coming out now, I think, and I think Drake Kelly's in the backfield.
Vikes may have to throw it here. They still have a timeout to use. They'll mark the ball here. Looks like about the 2-yard line. So first down and goal at the 2. 3 wide receivers off to the left side. Dre Kelly stays in the backfield. And they're going to throw it short, incomplete. And that's probably a good thing that was incomplete. Had it not been, the clock would have continued to roll. Chikari couldn't come up with it. They had 2 of the other wide receivers trying to block. And it's second down and goal now from the 2.
Still got 16 seconds left, though. So that's good. Could be good for about 3 plays. So really no sense of urgency for the Vikes. They want to score here, but need to take their time and get it right.
Up 21-13. And the Vikings will have the ball to start the second half. Empty backfield now. 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. Keep Mo Anglin in the block as a tight end. He's lined up on the right side. Ball is at the right hash mark. Bridges takes it. He's going to run the quarterback draw. Now bounces to the outside, walks in the end zone. He started up the middle. There was nothing there. Just stopped, went to his right, walks into the end zone. The Vikings score again to make it 27-13 with just seconds to go here in the first half.
You think Graceland said, some of the linemen said, I'm glad he scored. I'm tired of chasing him.
Tired of chasing him. That's his second rushing touchdown. So quick. So it's 27-13. Johnson will try to make it 28-13.
Ken, that was a 9-play, 66-yard drive for the Vikings.
Coming in, again, they're leaving just 12 seconds on the first half clock. Johnson's extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Young man from St. Charles is perfect on PATs this year. We'll keep it right here for the kickoff and the wrap-up of the first half. Again, the president of Missouri Valley College, Dr. Bonnie Humphrey. We'll talk to both soccer coaches. We'll have stats and some high school scores all coming up at the half. Jennings Premium Meats in New Franklin. Culligan Water and Conditioning Sedalia. Charles Appliance Sales and Service in Marshall and ConAgra of Marshall are pleased to bring you this broadcast on KMMO Marshall, KMVC Marshall, also moval.edu.
Ken, big quarter. 3 touchdowns for the Vikings here in the second quarter.
And you really take that momentum because early in this game, man, these Yellow Jackets were fired up. Now at least you go into the locker room, they're down 28-13. Still a lot of fight in that team, but the Vikings have kind of taken control here.
And to add insult to injury, the Jackets get to kick off to start the second half.
Johnson will boot this one away. He kicked the last one into the end zone. Would probably like to do the same thing again. And he kicks it high and short. And this one is going to be returned by Hollins. And he'll get it across the 25. He's to the 30. Breaks a tackle. He's to the outside. He's to midfield. He's all the way to the Viking 40-yard line and finally pulled down at the 27-yard line. And no time on the clock.
Freshman Daniel Williams. That's his second big stop on the special teams. But boy, Daniel, again, a freshman out of Houston, Texas, ran Holland down from behind. I'll tell you, for a guy that big, Holland's got great speed, doesn't he?
Yeah, now the Yellow Jackets coming out thinking they should have time to run a play. And the officials are going to huddle here. The Vikings are heading to the locker room.
Surely that took 12 seconds, I think.
Well, 1 second. They're going to put a second back on the clock. I'd like to know which one of them saw that.
Well, guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to hit Holland in the end zone, try to lob it up and let him make a play, I would guess.
So we know that Mr. Holland can run about 70 yards in 11 seconds.
Yep, he can.
Boy,
he's an athlete. Where'd you say he's from? Southern Boone?
Yeah,
Ashland?
Southern Ashland. I'll tell you, that was a nice tackle. Daniel Williams ran him down.
He
That
did.
a touchdown.
That'd have been 6. And Daniel had to make up quite a bit of ground too. Holland was in the open field.
He has had quite a game.
A lot of all-purpose yards for him.
So they'll have the ball at the, where are they going to spot that? Looks like 25-yard line. The Vikings 25. They'll have one play.
Watch the lob pass, guys.
Yep, get back, and I don't care if they get it down to the 1 yard line. You just have to play defense. Desimoni's back there. Antoine Palmer. Henry's back there. Deshaun Osborne in the defensive backfield.
Looks like a receiving line in the end zone there.
Gregory Johnson's back there. Vikings will rush 3. King, Suter, the linebackers.
Suter almost got to Holland when he caught the ball, but he ran past him.
So here's the final play of the first half. The Vikings leading 28-13. Compton steps up, throws it to the sideline. It's in the air. It's picked off. This ball's picked off at the 10, to the 15, all the way to the 25-yard line, to the 26. That's the first interception for the Vikings this season as well, and it's by Gregory Johnson.
Yeah, that ball was tipped. I think one of the Vikings got a hand on it, tipped it right to Gregory, and Greg pulled it in. Almost looked like he's going to have an open field, a long way to go, but he does return it, and that's the end of the first half. Vikings up 28-13.
And this Family Day crowd having some fun now. We'll be right back on the Viking Sports Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
We're back to Greg Mitchell and Joe after, well, the Yellow Jackets off to a great start, but Vikings have kind of taken control now, and good to see them kind of taking control of this football game.
Well, the Jackets opened up the scoring on a 76-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Compton to David Holland with just over 2 minutes, or less than 2 minutes, just over a minute in the game, and they led it 6-0. But then the Vikes come back with 3:11 to go in the first quarter, score on an 11-yard touchdown pass from Jake Bridges to Mo Anglin. The kick by Austin Johnson put the Vikes up 7-6. But then Graceland comes right back with 11:59 to go in the half. They score on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Compton to Caleb Thomas, take a 13-7 lead. But then it was all Vikings after that. An 8-yard pass from Bridges to Dorian Stenard, and then 2 touchdown runs by Jake to put the Vikings up 28-13.
All right, it's halftime. The Valley with the lead. We're at Baldy Ashford Stadium. Greg Mitchell Field. Vikings looking for the first win of the year.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the 4 walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Halftime of our game with Graceland, and it's always my pleasure to visit with the president of Missouri Valley College, Dr. Bonnie Humphrey. And Dr. Humphrey, thanks for coming on. Usually have you in the first game of the year, but since that was on the road, we wanted to wait till we had a home game. And I want to compliment you and everyone at Missouri Valley for just a wonderful start of the school year.
It's been a great start, and of course the weather's, I think, the rock star in that. It's just been tremendous weather. We have a great group of kids on campus this year, and it's always exciting to me to see the new faces. I think this year we have students from 44 states and 47 countries. Our diversity is unmatched in our conference.
Now, our convocation ceremony that we have the first week of school, we do have part of that is you have all the flags from the different states and the countries, and that's just amazing to watch that and just to see all the different students come by.
It's a beautiful ceremony. It's the last ceremony of the week, and we have it in front of Beatty Hall. And the students carry their flags from their state or their country. We have marching music behind it. We had bagpipes lead them in. The organizations are all represented, the teams are all represented, and it's a beautiful ceremony.
Now, that entire week, though, there are a lot of activities.
Lots of activities. The first activity of the week is usually the student leader banquet on Tuesday night. We have a guest speaker that speaks about leadership and the growing role of these young men and women as they move into adulthood. It's just a great ceremony because a lot of these kids, all the kids there are captains or presidents, officers of their organizations. They represent the best of the best on our campus. They're already practicing leadership skills, and many of them are seniors looking to move on into the world of work. And so it's just a great dinner.
You know, this is a very diverse campus, and we like it that way, don't we?
We do like it that way. We have people from all over the world, and one of the things I talked about during the convocation ceremony was you don't have far to look to find someone that's different than you, and they challenge the way you think, and they stretch the way you look at problems and at situations in the world. And you need to learn about other cultures, and I think it's an easy thing to do on this campus, because we're so broadly diverse. And we talked about the fact that we have more in common than we are different.
Yeah, I love it every year to have students from all over the country. There's no question about that. You know, just projects this summer on this campus. You continue to work on classrooms, continue to work on the other facilities, and we saw a lot of that again this summer.
Yes, Vice President Schulte does a super job of getting a lot done over the summer. And we had a lot of work in classrooms. We had faculty offices redone, a conference room put into the Dean of the Business Division's office. We redid extensive lighting in the theater. And then, of course, we do all the regular maintenance that you do. One of the big projects this summer was to put new turf down on Greg Mitchell Field. And we took the old turf and made a practice field out of it south of the Burn Center. And the goal behind that is to reduce our practice times, give more practice facilities, and reduce the time so that all practices on this campus can be done by 8 o'clock at night. That gives students more time to engage in the life of the campus.
Yeah, I know sometimes you have to have practice early, and I've seen practices late in the evening. It's just because of facilities, but by doing this, you allow those athletes to take part in other activities as well, other than just their sport.
That's exactly right. We want them to get a full feel for the campus, for the activities, the organizations, and not just be with the teammates in their sport all the time.
Now, with that in mind, I know you're pretty proud to announce an expansion of the athletic facilities.
Well, we're working on that. We haven't kicked off a campaign yet, but we have drawings, and we're working on expanding a new facility behind the Burn Center that will allow more locker rooms and more coaches' offices, weight training facilities. It's still in the development stages, but we're moving forward.
And I think in the long term, you'd like to have softball and baseball complex on the campus too, wouldn't you?
We would, yes, we would. When we measured out for this potential new building, we made sure we had the ability to put softball complex on the campus and also baseball field.
You know, you have to have nice facilities for all the students, the athletic facilities as well, and housing. They have to be nice facilities for all the students.
You know, colleges all across the country are competing for a smaller pool of students every year. And you have to continue to improve, because as soon as you stop improving, you start declining. And so we're always working.
I can't wait for the alumni to come back, whether it's this week, next week, or homecoming, to see all the improvements you've made yet in another year.
Well, I think they'll be excited. Missouri Valley is a great place. It's graduated thousands of great people, and it's always exciting when they come home.
It really is, and always exciting to visit with you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Bonnie Humphrey, President, Missouri Valley College.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest.
There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
At halftime, Vladimir Simic joins us, and Vlad, congratulations! Off to really a good start, 3-0-1.
Good start. Good start so far.
Now you play Kansas Wesleyan today. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I want to go back a couple nights ago. Oklahoma Wesleyan came in ranked number 1, 0-0 tie. It must have been a heck of a match.
That was a great match. Outcome was, like you said, 0-0. We had some chances to score goals, but overall, I think I'm happy with the result. Tying the number 1 team in the nation is not a bad thing.
Now, your team was not ranked in the top 20 to start the year. You were receiving votes. All of a sudden, you're up to number 8. So I guess that shows the history of this program. It also shows that people kind of respecting what this team can do this year.
I think that is correct. I mean, all the coaches in the conference and in the region are talking about our team. So maybe we are doing something right. So this year, obviously, we played the first 3 games and we got good results. And I guess that pushes us in top 25 right away.
Watch your Lindenwood-Belleville match. Speed, speed, speed. You have a lot of it on this team.
Fortunately, we do have some speed this year, and I think we are a little different than in the past couple of years with the young guys and very fast guys on the wings. So hopefully we can utilize that this year and beat some teams on the speed at least.
Now you're saying different than years gone by. What would you say is the difference?
I mean, maybe we had maybe some guys that are more of the central midfielders with the more skills and so forth, but this year we are playing fast overall as a team, and then we can use that speedy guys that we have on the wing. So maybe that can make a difference, like I said. So.
And in the back?
Patrick is good in the goal, and then my center backs are amazing. Uro Šilić is doing a fantastic job stopping all the plays and organizing the defense. So let's knock on the wood and let's continue to play like this.
Kansas Wesleyan, as we do this football game, you're playing Kansas Wesleyan. Another tough opponent?
Very tough. I mean, good conference as well. Always had the tough matchups in the past with them, so we're on the road, so it's going to be a tough matchup. Hopefully we can come up with a win.
You always put a schedule like this together because you know when you get in conference play, it is difficult each and every match.
I mean, this is our last non-conference game, and I'm hoping for a good result and to be ready for the conference, obviously. We played tough teams in non-conference matchups. So we'll be ready for the conference and hopefully the playoffs and national tournament.
Conference wide open?
Wide open, wide open. Lots of good teams, similar level as us, and I would say similar level to Oklahoma Wesleyan. So it's going to be lots of good games in the next few weeks to come.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Drew Hawkins, women's soccer coach at Missouri Valley, joins us. And Drew, taking a look at your team this year, a lot of new faces out there.
We have a lot of new faces, a lot of young players, and a lot of transfer students that are technically young for our team.
And it takes a little while for them all to mesh and to know what each other's going to do on the field, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it takes time. It takes the right chemistry and it takes the right attitude to get together and make things work.
I guess right now, to be fair to say, you're looking for ways to score. That you're playing hard, everything going right, but just kind of tough putting the ball in the net.
Yeah, we're playing good defensively, and we are controlling possession of a lot of the games, but we can't put the ball in the net. And at the end of the day, if you don't put the ball in the net, you don't win the game. So, that's something you don't want to press on, because you start pressing, then you start messing up in other areas, aspects of the field. But we're definitely focusing on that for the next couple weeks before conference.
But I do think you have the gals that can get that done.
Yeah, we have the gals. If we're healthy and we get in shape and we do what we need to do, we have the players. Can we put it together? That's up to them, and also up to the coaching staff to challenge them. So,
speaking of coaching staff, you've brought a couple of your former players here to coach with you, and I'll tell you what, they'll help you a lot, won't they?
No, they'll help us. They want to be here. They respect the program, and they want to improve the program, and they want to win at the highest level, and they also care about the kids. So I think that's the most important thing, is that they want to be here and they want to be a part of Missouri Valley.
At Kansas Wesleyan, we're playing them today. What do you know about this team?
Yeah, they are like us. They are struggling to find the goal a little bit, played a tough schedule, kind of graduated a lot of good players like we did, and I think we're both honestly similar situations. So it's going to be a dogfight, I think, because both teams want to win.
All right, so there you have somewhat of a preview by both soccer coaches, and also we always thank Dr. Bonnie Humphrey for taking time out of her busy schedule to join us. By the way, both soccer teams did win today in Kansas. The women defeated Kansas Wesleyan 1-0. The men won 2-0. The men are undefeated, and they have the one tie against number 1 Oklahoma Wesleyan, and they are ranked 8th in the country. Joe, how about some first half statistics?
Well, the big stat, the Vikings lead at 28-13 at halftime, but a good second quarter for the Vikings. They scored 3 touchdowns. Looking at the total yardage, the Vikes have an advantage over Graceland, 325 to 180 in total yards. As far as Graceland really had no ground game whatsoever. The Yellow Jackets have a minus 16 yards rushing, 196 passing. The Vikings on the flip side, 115 on the ground, 210 through the air. Individually, again, this is interesting. Graceland only had 4 carries by anybody other than quarterback Preston Compton. Rosano James Smith carried it 4 times for a net of a -2. Compton carried it 10 times for a net of a -14. For the Vikings on the flip side, Jake Bridges, the leading rusher, 7 yards for a net of 50 yards. Kenny Sanford, 7 carries for 35. Dre Kelly, 3 carries for 12. Both quarterbacks had a good half passing. Compton was 13 out of 21, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. For the Vikings, Jake Bridges, 11 out of 20, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Vikings did have 4 sacks. Leading receiver for the Vikings, Jakari Johnson, 4 catches for 56 yards. B.J. Matthews, a breakout game for him. He caught 2 passes for 68 yards, and Mo Anglin caught 2 for 31 at that big touchdown. Caleb Thomas, David Holland, I'll talk about him in a minute. Caleb Thomas, 8 receptions for 53. Again, get this, David Holland, 211 all-purpose yards in the first half. He had that 76-yard touchdown pass. I'm trying to find that stat with how many of those. He had that long kickoff return right before half. He had 121 yards receiving, 90 on kick returns for 211 yards. So I think one good sign for the Vikings. Only 6 penalties for 31 yards. 6 is too many, but no major penalties.
That's
so
good.
6 for 31 and no turnovers by the Vikings. So those are a couple of areas where I think they've really improved on this week.
All right, Joe, we'll talk about some of the high school scores, and we return in 1 minute on the Vikings.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice, special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Joe All goes over all the high school scores on KMMO and visits with the coaches on Friday night. And, Joe, how about some of those scores from last
Ken,
night?
I can do most of these from memory, but
All
I'm going
right.
to read them. But in the NCMC 3 conference games, Kirksville comes into Marshall and wins 38-0. Moberly shuts out Fulton 35-0. Mexico goes to Hannibal, gets a big 28-14 win. Non-conference play, Boonville beats Father Tolton out of Columbia 27-17. In the I-73 conference games, St. Paul beats Concordia 33-22. Crestridge knocks off Oric 42-14. The Santa Fe Chiefs beat Lone Jack 55-6, and Wellington Napoleon falls to Lexington in non-conference action 46-8. Sweet Springs on the road to play Chaffee this afternoon. Don't have a score on that. Lewis and Clark, 4 conference games. Marceline remains unbeaten. They beat Fayette 48-12. Westran 57-15 over Harrisburg. Knox County beats Paris 26-14. Non-conference play, Salisbury loses to Carrollton 41-6. MRVC East, Holden knocks off Lighthouse Christian. Knob Noster wins their 3rd in a row. They squeak by Tipton 28-26. These are all non-conference. Higginsville unbeaten. They beat El Dorado Springs 42-6. Lexington, again, also unbeaten. They beat Wellington 46-8. Excelsior Springs, a rival game. They beat Richmond 28-20. MRVC West, Grain Valley loses to Center 49-28. Harrisonville falls to Platte County 20-12. Oak Grove beaten by Carnahan 28-13. Odessa beats Warrensburg 13-0. Pleasant Hill falls to Smith Cotton 35-14. K. Singer Windsor loses to Lincoln 20-14. Colcamp loses to Cuba 32-26. And I mentioned another score. Former Valley graduate and athlete Phil Willard, head coach of the Chillicothe Hornets. Phil's team is 4-0 right
Good
now.
job.
They beat Cameron 60-0, and last week they got that big 24-0 win over Maryville. So the Hornets of Phil doing well, and I know Phil, we see him down here at quite a few different Viking events.
Phil, not only a good football coach, he's a better human being. He's
Top-notch individual
known
all
Phil
the way
for
around.
a long,
Yeah.
long time, and he's a Valley grad, and what a great athlete he was as well. All right, the Vikes will get it. After an impressive second quarter, they lead at 28-13, and here we go. Left-footed kick, and this is very short, and it's going to bounce, and it's going to be picked up by Dre Kelly, and I think he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah. Not much you could do with that one.
So the ball is at the 27-yard line. That's where Valley will take over. Jake Bridges leading the way for the Vikings, especially in that second quarter, as the Vikes have, at least for now, taken control of this game 28-13.
Jake in the first half looks like he had 50 all-purpose yards running.
You can see it on the video, but I'm telling you, this new turf, and when the lights take effect, Joe, in the Malcolm Center across the way, this is really a beautiful small college setting, isn't it?
Very,
Right
and
here.
the Malcolm Center makes the stadium look enclosed.
Yes.
It makes it look like a completed project, doesn't it?
It is gorgeous, and that new turf is something else. We'll talk about that a little bit. First down, handoff up the middle. There's Kenny Sanford, breaks a hole. Kenny running to the left side, picks up about 10 to the 42, and I think they will give him 10 on a first down. They took the old turf that was about 8 years old, and that is now behind the Burns Center. They're using that as another practice facility.
And much needed.
Much needed.
Much needed, and then going to also build another indoor facility where some of the teams will be able to practice, take some of the pressure off of the Burns Center, I understand.
They talked at Dr. Humphrey mentioned that at the half here. First down for the Vikes. Here's a quick pass to the outside. Jakari Johnson gets a block. He'll pick up 10, stay on his feet, making it 12, and it fumbles the ball. Let's see who's got it. I think the Vikes came up with that ball as Jakari, looking for that extra 1 or 2 yards on the far side, fumbled the ball, but somebody for Valley came up with the football, and that's a big play.
Well, we bragged at halftime about no turnovers for the Vikes in the first half. They flirted with one right there, but somebody, Johnny, on the spot. And I'm trying to see who gets, see on the screen who gets that recovery. It looks like one of the linemen.
Center, Munoz, I think. The center came up with it. Good job.
Big play. So now Vikes set up shop in Graceland territory down at the 47-yard line.
Vikes leading 28-13, looking for their first win of the season. So are the Yellow Jackets. Vikings in control and wanting more here on their first drive of the third quarter. Bridges, they're going to keep it on the ground again. And good surge by the offensive line,
Yeah.
and that whole pile goes all the way inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's
Sanford.
a nice gain.
Yeah,
Kenny
the
Sanford.
offensive line playing much better tonight. They've been giving Jake good time to throw. And what I was looking for, Jake, as we said in the first half, he had 50 yards rushing, 210 yards passing, so 260 of total offense for him in the first half.
Pretty impressive for the sophomore quarterback from Park Hill, south of St. Louis. Run on Highway 67. It's second down and about 6. Vikes keep it on the ground again. Big hole. Sanford bounces to the outside left side. He's at the 20, 15, puts it in another gear and walks into the end zone. Kenny Sanford with a touchdown, and the Vikings strike again.
And I think that was about a 43-yard run, I believe. I'm going to give him 43. I don't have the official, but I think that was a 43-yard run, and that's Kenny's first rushing touchdown of the season, and very deservedly so.
Boy, he put it in another gear when he got about to the 20-yard line, and he just outraced everybody into the end zone.
That was a 4-play, 73-yard drive.
And that's a great way to start the second half, 34-13. Johnson will attempt the extra point. Collins holds. Kick on the way, and as he usually does, Johnson puts it through the uprights. 35-13 Valley. Back with a kickoff in a minute, Viking Sports Network.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Well, this time, Johnson kicks it away from David Holland. The kick goes to Colleen Williams, and he gets it out to the 27. Very short return, and that's where the Yellow Jackets will take over. First time they've had the ball in the second half.
Nice open field tackle that time by wide receiver Jay Kirk running down on the kickoff team. Nice open field stop by Jay. He's a sophomore out of St. Louis.
Well, the Viking defense, a little tougher in that second quarter. Let's see how they react in the third quarter. Running play, one of the very few running plays by the Yellow Jackets, and they'll pick up a few yards to Rosano James Smith, and it'll be second down and about 5.
Yeah, tackle by Dedrick Allen that time.
Dedrick's had a good game. We've called his number a lot. Here's Compton in trouble again. He's going to go down at about the line of scrimmage. It won't be a sack as he was able to push the nose of the football out to the 34-yard line. But good pursuit by the Vikes, and now it's third down and 5. And, Joe, this Viking rush is finally getting to Compton. He doesn't have all day to sit back there and look for Holland and the other fine receivers.
No, he doesn't. That makes a big difference. And Kyle Brady, the linebacker, there to bring him down. So third down and looks like third and about 4 for the Jackets.
Big play, momentum-wise, if the Vikes can get a 3-and-out here. Compton, all-out rush. Compton sprinting around to his left. He's going to try to get to the first down marker, and he's going to go out of bounds at the 35, and that will be short of the first down. He was chased by Miles Campbell and Dedrick Allen, and he did not get the first down. It'll be fourth down.
Going to be pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, where are they going to mark it?
Mark it back.
Moved it back at 35.
Yeah, it's back further now, so really not that close. I don't know. I don't see Graceland's punt team out there yet. They've got the ball in their own, their own 35-yard line. It looks like they're going to go for it.
They may figure they are not stopping the Viking offense, so let's go. Or let's going to try to draw them off. Let's see what happens.
4th and 2, yeah. Could be a hard count.
They have to get out to the 44-yard line to pick up a first down. They're going for it. They swing the pass out, and it's incomplete. Trying to get the pass out to Caleb Thomas. It's incomplete, so Coach Mark Kolb goes, hey, we can't stop them. Let's try to score with them. And the Vikings have tremendous field position.
A lot of people might question that call by Coach Mark Kolb, but I would not. I mean, Missouri Valley has all the momentum in the world, everything going their way. You got to do something to break the tide, and punting the ball away wouldn't do it, I don't think.
I don't either. So the ball's at the 36-yard line. Vikings trying to put this one away or attempt to put it away here in the third quarter, leading comfortably now 35-13. At one time they trailed 13-7. Gray Kelly in the backfield. Now an official's timeout.
Yeah, the Vikings 28 unanswered points.
Ball is at the 36-yard line. College football well underway on all levels. High school football, that was week number four already last night.
A lot of teams have already played a couple conference games. Everybody will be in conference play by next week.
Ball's at the 36-yard line for the Vikings in Graceland territory after an unsuccessful fourth down play. And Jake wants to throw, steps away from the rush. All kinds of room to run. He's to the 30, dances to the sideline, stays on his feet, and then steps out at the 20-yard line. Once he got away from that first defensive rush, there was nothing but green turf on the right side.
You ever swing and miss a golf ball? That's exactly what one of the Graceland defensive backs did that time.
Man.
He dove and got an armful of air as Jake put that little juke move to the outside, takes it all the way down to about the 20, so that's a gain of about 16 yards on the play.
Jake Bridges, by the way, also a very good student. He's a math major. He's had 1B. He had 1B in his freshman year. It was in calculus.
Does a good job figuring the angles out there on the field.
He is a very good student, great athlete. In trouble here, throws to the sideline. It's incomplete. Stenard was blocking, and Jake threw it that way. He was out of the tackle box anyway, and so it'll be second down. Good pressure that time by the Yellow Jackets.
I'm not sure if Stenard was blocking or dancing with the defensive back right there. They had their arms kind of locked with each other, but they had no bearing on the play.
Askia Harris was the putting on the pressure.
I can't see the defensive back. He's got a long hair hanging down. I can't see his number back there now.
Oh, on here on the left side. He has mentioned one-on-one on the coverage on second down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Jake wants to throw. Quick out.
Matthews.
Gets it off to Matthews. Straight ahead running inside the 15 down to about the 12. And this freshman looking pretty good tonight.
That's the third catch of the night for B.J. Matthews. He reeled in 2 passes for 68 yards in the first half, so he's probably got 75-plus yards now.
So it is third down and 2. The Vikes have to get to the 10. The ball's at the 12. Again, they're spotted at that right hash mark. 10:55, third quarter. Valley leading 35-13, looking for their first win of the year over the Graceland Yellow Jackets. Jake wants to throw into the end zone. Wide open touchdown. The pressure was on, so they just threw it out to the tight end, and that's Janko Beraz who makes the catch for the touchdown. That's his first touchdown of the year.
Yeah, 12-yard strike from pass from Jake Bridges, and that was a 4-play, looks like a 4-play, 64-yard drive.
Well, the Yellow Jackets, thinking they had to go for it on fourth down, gave the Vikings a short field, and they made them pay. Now what we have here? Well, it's coming back. Is it going to be a touchdown, or is there a penalty on the play? I think there was a penalty. No touchdown.
No, too bad.
Take it off.
Too bad.
Janko Beraz doesn't get his touchdown.
Yeah, nice pass. He was wide open.
Illegal receiver downfield.
Maybe that's why he was open. Maybe somebody was covering the tackle that was out there.
One of the linemen downfield. So comes down. It's third down. The ball all the way back now to the 18-yard line. So 3rd and 8. Beraz doesn't have his first touchdown of the year.
Well, maybe he can get it on this play.
Jake looks left, throws over the middle. Jakari can't hang on. With slant pattern, Johnson couldn't hang on at the 6. And this will give Austin Johnson an attempt. He's 0 for 1 today. Field goals, but it'll give him a chance to work on his field goals.
Not a bad situation. Austin needs those repetitions.
Jakari, he'll tell you should have caught that ball. It was right there, and he couldn't hang on at the 7.
It's gonna be looks like about a 34-yard field goal attempt.
Ball is on the right hash mark. Austin is 0 for 1 tonight, 1 for 2 on the season, longest 36. Collins holds. Ball down. Kick is on the way.
Plenty of leg.
but it is good. Yeah,
That'd have been good. That'd have been good. That was a 30, I think a 34. That'd been good from 44, maybe 50 yards that time.
Good to see him knock that one through. 3 more for the Vikings. They lead it 38-13. Kickoff coming up on the Viking Sports Network.
People all over the country join AmeriCorps Vista to build their community while they build their career.
AmeriCorps Vista provides a huge network with a lot of different opportunities, so you can find the position that works for you. It's a great opportunity to meet friends. It's a great opportunity to learn job skills.
AmeriCorps Vista members address poverty through economic development, education, youth mentorship, and more.
What motivated me to join AmeriCorps Vista was really just being able to give back to the community which I represent.
We can all kind of work together, work to our strengths, and create this network.
That allows me to be giving back to the community. We are allowing our next generation to be sustained.
Learn how you can build your community and your career at AmeriCorps.gov/Vista. That's AmeriCorps.gov/Vista.
Another pooch kick, this time by Johnson, and Alex Guido brings it up to the 34-yard line. One of the up men. Good catch. Got it and got out of bounds.
He did. And Vikes need to be able to kick that ball deep and get good coverage down there. I know Holland almost broke that one, but pretty good field position right now for the Jackets.
34-yard line. Compton, he's had a busy right arm. They on a little shovel pass. Try to get it to the outside. Good run across the 40 to the 42-yard line goes Caleb Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, good job. Like you say, just a little inside shuttle pass, and Thomas broke about 3 tackles right around the line of scrimmage, and it's like he gained about 8 yards on the play.
Yeah, they're going to mark it across the 40 to the 41-yard line. We'll give you the rest of the scores from the conference if you missed them earlier after this play. 2nd down and 3, a nice 7-yard gain. Hand it off again. This is close to a 1st down. Helmet comes off.
One thing Graceland has not done all night is run the football. That's only their 5th rush, other than Compton scrambling around all night long.
Smith, helmet came off. He'll have for the yard. Did not pick up the 1st down. So 3rd and 1 from the 43. Compton turns. They want to throw it to the outside. The ball is batted down. A heck of a defensive play on the far side as that ball was batted up in the air.
Dedrick Allen.
Dedrick Allen
got a hand on it.
So it's 4th down and 1, and they went for it here before. Why not go for it again?
They are. There's no punter out there right now. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Dedrick got a hand on it. Why not? 4th down in the yard.
Look for a run this time, I guess, but I might be wrong.
Preston Compton. They need a yard to pick up the 1st down. Compton's going to keep it, and he gets that 1st down out to the 45-yard line on the quarterback run. Quarterback keeper.
Compton's shown pretty good agility tonight. He's really scrambled. Vikes have had a lot of pressure on him, especially lately, and he's doing a good job of getting loose. Now Monty Rose sends about 4 new defensive players into the game.
Dylan Mack was in at the running back in that last play.
Jarrett Harrison, a junior out of Pacific, comes into defensive end position.
1st down, they want to run it again, and that's Smith getting across the 45 to the 46. 46 and a half, a gain of 1.5 yards. It'll be 2nd down. I doubt if they're in positive numbers rushing the ball yet. They were negative.
Yeah.
You include the sacks at the half. 2nd down and 8, gain of only 2 by Smith. Clock is moving here. 9:03, 3rd quarter. Smith now will check out.
Smith having helmet troubles, it looks like. I think he's taking his helmet over to the sideline.
Colleen Williams checks in at that running back. Where's number 34? 2nd down and 8. Back to throw. Compton stays in the pocket. Now the pocket breaks down. He tries to scramble, gets back to the line, I think, and it'll be 3rd and about 8. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was about it. And that is Micah Tanganeka Wallace who made the tackle.
Nice open field tackle that time.
Or excuse me, Jared Harrison made the tackle. Harrison, number 99, made the tackle, not number 90. So 3rd down at about 7. They throw it deep again down the sideline. Diving attempt. incomplete. Oh, a heck of an attempt on the far side over there.
Is that Devon Henry? I think Devon
Taz
Henry.
Richardson was the
Devon Henry in
intended
coverage,
receiver.
I believe, and Devon was with him pretty well step for step. Viking defensive backs doing a good job staying with the receivers. They just don't have a lot of height back there.
Yeah, that was Devon right with him, step for step. Richardson came up with the ball, but the official right there said, no, that ball hit the turf before you caught it. So a punting
now
situation.
you think they're going to kick, but they've already tried one fake kick tonight, and they picked up a first down on it. So beware of any trickery here.
Manoa, the freshman.
He's the one that threw the pass on fourth down, wasn't he?
And he's had a couple of nice high booming punts and a couple off the side of his foot. Stands back at his own 33-yard line awaiting the snap. The Vikings have taken charge of this game. He's going to kick this one away. Nice high spiral. We lose it up into the lights. And this one comes down. It's going to be taken to the 20, to the 30-yard line, across the 40, all the way out to about midfield. The ball is fumbled by Jakari Johnson, and I think the Yellow Jackets have it.
They think they do anyway.
Yeah, Jakari made a nice return, but then fumbled the ball.
First turnover of the night for the Vikings. No, they had one interception, I guess. That's
and
first fumble.
Yellow Jackets get it back at the 44, their own 44-yard line. So Jakari got out to the 30, raced up that sideline, kept the ball in his right hand as he went down at the 49. The ball was not in his possession.
That's a shame, too, because that was a nice return. Jakari caught the ball in traffic and made a nice positive gain.
So Compton wants to throw on first down. Pocket hole, throws it deep. It is caught inside the 20-yard line, down at about the 18. And that is Caleb Thomas who makes the catch. And here come the Yellow Jackets.
Nice catch by Thomas. Good throw by Compton. Good protection by the Graceland offensive line.
So first down deep in Viking territory at the 21-yard line. Vikings still in control of this thing, 38-13, but the Yellow Jackets on the move. In the red zone, Compton swings it to the sideline. It is caught for a very short gain. Good coverage by Deshaun Osborne over there, and it'll be second down and about 5.
Yeah, Deshaun bumped him out of bounds after the catch. Just a short out pattern. Not a lot you can do if the quarterback has any time at all. That's a tough play to cover.
Once again, it is Caleb Thomas. Boy, he catches a lot of balls.
38-13, 7:30 left to go in the third quarter. Vikings on top.
Compton again back over the middle. This was bobbled and dropped. Tried that little slant pattern, and that one was bobbled, and it was dropped. The intended receiver was Irvin Dewberry, a freshman wide receiver.
Well, you can really see those plays clearly on this screen.
More you can't hear, you can't on the field.
Well, you and I'm half blind.
So it's third down and 7 from the 27-yard, or excuse me, the 17-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field. As Compton takes the snap, rushes on. He tries to step up, runs around to the right side looking for first down yardage, dives to the 10, and if he is inside the 10, it'll be first and goal. Good run by the quarterback, Preston Compton.
You know, we talk about Jake Bridges' ability to scramble, and he's probably one of the best I've seen, but give Compton credit. He's pretty good at it himself.
First and goal, just inside the 10-yard line, right hash mark. Compton swings it out again, very short pass, and they'll get about a yard or two as Caleb Thomas, once again, number 6, with the catch. Second and goal from the 8, a gain of only a yard.
Yeah, good job over there, and I think was that Devon trying to get the number of the defensive. I think that's Devon Henry again on the stop over in that corner. You caught him right after, tackled him right after he caught the ball.
Well, it's second down and goal from the 8. Compton will take the snap. They're going to keep it on the ground, get down to about the 5-yard line. That's Williams running with the football. Caleb Williams, his first carry, I think. It's third and goal from the 5. This drive taking a lot of time, 6:30 to go, third quarter.
Ken, don't you imagine as many people as Monty Rose shuffles in and out on defense, they have some pretty competitive practices.
Oh, yeah. It's third down and goal from the 5. Williams stays in as the running back. Compton is the quarterback. Again, the ball's at the right hash. He wants to throw it over the middle. It's caught for no gain, and it will be 4th and goal as a tackle made immediately as Jalen McCarty made the catch.
That Antoine Palmer, I think, made that tackle. Antoine hit him immediately after the ball got there. So big play. If Graceland wants to stay a part of this game, they need to score here with just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Trying to take advantage of a fumble recovery. And they will go for it on 4th and goal at the 5. Compton keeps Williams with him in the backfield. Takes the snap, looks left, rushes on, throws it away. Vikings will take over at the 5-yard line. Receiver went to the post, the pass went to the corner. Vikings hold, they'll take over at their own 5-yard line.
Yeah.
Good stand there, Joe.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job. Good pressure, good coverage in the secondary, and Compton had nowhere to throw it. He just lofted that up in the corner of the end zone, hoping somebody would run under it, but that, as they say, that ain't going to happen.
That didn't happen. The Vikings will take over at their own 5-yard line, trying to put together a long drive. You're listening to KMMO Marshall, KMVC Marshall, and watching and listening on moval.edu, all on the Viking Sports Network, off the 5-yard line.
All right, let's see. How about a 95-yard drive here?
That'd be nice. Jake Bridges comes back out. And let's see, it looks like the Vikes are going to start an empty backfield from the 5-yard line. Takes the snap, looks to throw, now he's going to take off with it. Jake gets to the 10 and goes down there. They'll give him the 10-yard line, so it's a gain of 5.
Got him
I
out
think
of the
that
hole.
might have been a quarterback draw all the way.
I think it was. I didn't see anybody. Jake at least didn't look downfield for any receiver.
He was just trying to get out of there, and he gets to the 10-yard line. Anglin comes in as a tight end. Barras is out.
That's one of the attributes of Jake Bridges. He reacts very quickly to situations.
Now Kenny Sanford, who has a touchdown run tonight. He's back in the backfield. Where's number 7? Number 2, Jakari Johnson in the slot right side. Now he'll work it back to the left. They're going to hand it off to Kenny. Looks to bounce to the outside. He's hit. Breaks one tackle. Bounces to the outside. Now he's going to hit as he spins. And he got about a yard off all that. Was hit to the right, spun back to the left, spun again, and was wrapped up after a 1-yard gain.
Pretty good pursuit. I think that was Jeff Sanders, the sophomore defensive back, the first man to get to him. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Looks like 3rd about 4 for the Vikings. Don't want to give it up down here. This would give Graceland pretty good field position if the Vikes don't convert.
Vikings would love to at least get a couple of first downs here. They need to get to the 15-yard line to pick up a first down. Bridges takes a look at the sideline, now puts the mouthpiece back in, and back to throw. He's going to take off, all kinds of room up the middle. He slides across the 20 to the 22, first down. If someone's supposed to spy on him, they're not doing a very good job. There was all kinds of room up the middle.
Do you think the Viking coaches have told Jake Bridges, Jake, run and scramble. When you see somebody coming to hit you, get down quickly.
And coming after him that time was Matron Smith, and he got down in a hurry. So
you don't want to take the scrambling out of his arsenal. Right. That's one of his biggest weapons, but you don't want a needless injury either.
Don't need any hits. First down at the 23-yard line. They're coming after him. He gets the pass out on the bubble screen, but good coverage. Very short gain. Dorian Stenard made the catch, and he was wrapped immediately by Mike Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre would have made a good play. He came right through the middle. The Vikes had a wall on that screen set up on the left side, but Pierre split right through the middle of the wall and got in and made a nice tackle. So still 2nd and 10.
3:13 to go in the third quarter. That first half took a while, but this third quarter moving right along. The Vikes have the only touchdown and a field goal in it, leading 38-13. 2nd down for the Vikings. Send a man in motion. And they're going to hand it off on the end around to Khalil Smith. Tries to use the stiff arm, and then gets across the 25 out to the 29-yard line. First running play for Khalil of the night.
Yeah, nice block that time by by Kenny Sanford. Kenny got out leading that play and threw a block to spring Khalil for a few more yards. So it's going to be, looks like 3rd down and looks like 3rd and about 4 for the Vikings. Ball just outside of the 30-yard line, about the 29. Vikes in their own territory, but they lead at 38-13. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third.
2 wide receivers right, 2 left. On this 3rd down play, Bridges rolling to his left. Now stops, rolls back to his right. He needs a block, and now he scrambles back to his left again. through traffic, still on his feet. Pumps again. Now he fumbles the ball and falls on it back at the 18. Now, there was nobody open. Good pursuit that time by the Yellow Jackets. They just kept coming after him. The Yellow Jackets did. And Jake finally just went down at about the 20. They'll have to punt it away.
And good coverage that time in the secondary.
Yep. Injured Yellow Jacket is down at about the 20-yard line. Bridges went right, left, right, and just nobody open. We'll see who the injured player is.
And Kenny Sanford limps off the field again for the Vikings. He is running, but he's limping.
Well, we have a moment. Here are the other scores today. If you missed them, it was Baker all over Culver, 67-7. It was 50-something to nothing, I think, in the first half. Mid-American Nazarene over William Penn in Oskaloosa today, 31-12. That tells me something about the Pioneers, huh? Benedictine put 72 on the board in Kansas City against Avila, 72-14. Grandview rolled Central Methodist 59-7. Peru State and Evangel playing tonight, and of course this game in the third quarter.
Yeah, some pretty high-scoring offenses, it looks like, in this conference.
Drake Higgins will punt it away. Drake standing back at his own 5-yard line. And Caleb Thomas awaits the punt. Higgins had one block last week. Here they come, gets it away. A line drive, and that sends Thomas all the way back to his own 32. Working the right side. Vikings have good containment, and they drop him at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, nice open field tackle that time, and I'll try to get the number on the young man who made that stop. That was a good hit that time, and that was Tanner Fleming from Oak Grove, Missouri. So Tanner got down and made a nice stop on that kick that time, so kind of somewhat of a local product from Oak Grove. And, you know, Ken, that kick by Higgins wasn't very high, but it went a long way. It was a line drive, had a lot of steam behind it.
He has a strong leg. There's no question about that. So first down at the 31-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. They were thwarted on their last attempt. Now Compton in the trouble, rolls to his right, throws, the ball is caught across the 40 to the 44-yard line. Another catch for Thomas, Caleb Thomas.
Yeah, and once again, the ability of Compton to scramble out there and buy himself some extra time. Preston Compton, he's a junior, and did a good job that time finding Thomas, who's had a big night offensively.
First down at the 46-yard line. Compton wants to throw again. Throws a bullet, and that's too high for his favorite receiver, David Holland.
You know, that's the first time he's targeted Holland in quite a while. Holland had 211 all-purpose yards in the first half, and of those yards, 121 of those were receiving.
So it is second down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Compton, he's had a busy night. He'll be a tired young man after tonight. Steps back in the pocket, looking. He's throwing this one deep into double coverage, and that one, I believe, is intercepted by the Vikings. How about that? Devon Henry.
Yeah, Devon's had a big game back there.
It was double coverage, and he picks it off. Devon played offense last year, playing defense this year, and has himself an interception.
He's an athlete. We noticed that last year on special teams and running back, and this year's made the switch to defensive back. And once again, he had kind of a typical Viking defensive back, fast, good athleticism, but not a lot of height.
Yep. The ball's at the 9-yard line. The Vikes took over at the 5 the last time. They have it at the 9, a minute 41 to go, third quarter. And Vikings in control of this one, 38-13.
Defense has really stepped up since early on in the game.
Now a flag is thrown. Illegal substitution. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty. No, someone came in late.
That should be a half the distance to the goal line, I think. The ball's marked at about the 9 before the penalty.
Well, the Vikings had 12 men on the field, and I think who was not, B.J. Matthews said, hey, Coach, I want to play. He was not supposed to be out there.
Takes it back to the 5. So it'll be 1st and 10, second straight series. The Vikings have started out at their own 5-yard line.
Well, this time, Vikings keep someone in the backfield with Bridges. And they're going to hand the ball off.
Drake Kelly.
And that's Kelly. Kelly to the outside, stumbles across the 10, working to the right side, out to about the 13. Nice gain.
Boy, Dre was only about maybe a foot from the ground. I don't know how he kept his balance, but he stumbled for about another 5 yards after somebody made contact. He takes the ball all the way out, almost to the, close to the first down marker, all the way out to about the, looks like about the 14-yard line. But they got to go 15, don't they? Got to go 15
for
first
all the way
down.
to the 20 after that penalty.
Yeah, still was a gain of about 9.
So second down and 6. Bridges. Kelly's in the backfield with him. Lined up to his left. And they give it to him again. Good hole up the middle. Has a first down. Breaks the tackle and is out to the 27-yard line. First down, Valley.
Yeah, a couple nice runs. Once again, good balance that time by Dre Kelly as he stayed on his feet and tackled that time by number 26. That is Askia Harris, a junior. And looking at Dre Kelly, Ken, he is a freshman out of St. Louis and looks like it could be a very promising running back.
Talking on kickoffs, Elton Taylor, a young freshman out of Texas. They're high on him as well. So good stable of running backs, and of course Sanford a sophomore. First and 10 from the 27-yard line. Right hash mark. Late third quarter. Bridges running that play clock all the way down to 2 seconds. Now hands it off to Sanford. Kenny spins. He gets out to the 40-yard line, running inside the numbers to the right side. That's a 13-yard gain and a first down. He's well over 100 yards tonight.
Kenny still, that leg is still bothering him. He's moving, but he's not. He's walking kind of gingerly when he walks around back there. So I don't think he's at full strength. You can see him kind of bending over right now. So don't want to get him hurt.
That may have been the final play of the quarter. The Vikings can let the clock run down, and I think they will as Jake Bridges points at the clock, and now he's not even going to run a play. So that's going to do it for the third quarter. The Vikings up 38-13, and we'll be back with quarter number 4 in just a moment on the Viking Sports Network.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to ditch the car and start rollerblading to work.
I look ridiculous.
You look ridiculous!
You don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your organs on the black market.
Lie back. This is gonna hurt.
Yeah, that hurts.
You don't need to rent out your apartment to drifters.
I made a fire with the wood in your bedroom.
That's my dresser!
And your closet door.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
We're back as we get ready to start quarter number 4, and the Vikings have a 38-13 lead in this contest.
The Vikings, after falling behind 13-7 early in the second quarter, scored 31 unanswered points.
And they have the ball at the 41-yard line. Bridges takes the snap, looks right. Now he rolls to his right. Going to launch it downfield, down the sideline. A diving attempt, but the pass is incomplete. Trying to go to Dorian Stannard. Pretty good coverage by Harris.
Yeah, double coverage back there by Graceland. He tried to take a shot, and Stannard, we've seen him make plays in traffic time and time again, but that time the ball a little bit overthrown and a good defensive play by the Jackets.
At halftime tonight, the teams that represented Missouri Valley College in national tournaments were recognized, and we'll talk about those teams when we get a chance here in the fourth quarter. Ball's at the 41-yard line. It is second down and 10 for Valley, leading 38-13. Bridges will take the snap. Flags. Timeout Valley. So the Vikings, I think that play clock was running down. That gives us a chance to talk about these teams that represented Missouri Valley in postseason last year. The men's cross country team finished 11th in the country, won a Hart championship. Men's and women's track and field programs also had participants in the national meet. The cheer program. By the way, the cheerleaders look fantastic. I mean, you have a great group of cheerleaders, and all the way out throughout the football game, they're working. They're doing something. They're just not standing there. They do a good job.
And you're going to say they look fantastic, and they do.
Victoria Cox does a great job with her cheerleaders. So they finished 7th in the country, won the Hart Championship and Southeast Regional Championship. Men's lacrosse program finished 3rd in the country, won both the KCAC regular season and postseason tournament championship. Men's wrestling program finished 12th in the country. Women's wrestling program was 9th. Men's rodeo program 11th in the country, won the Ozark region. The women's program 12th in the country. Men's volleyball finished 6th in the nation. The football program ranked 11th. So pretty good representation,
Oh, yeah,
Joe.
yeah, good. Both men and women did a great job. A lot of very successful programming. Ken, the thing that's amazing is a lot of these good athletes were recognized are also very good students.
Kenny Sanford, 108 yards rushing tonight on 12 carries. Jake Bridges has 11 carries, 72, and Dre Kelly 5 attempts for 35 yards. So good ground game tonight.
Yeah, it shows that offensive line's doing a good job too.
Speaking of the ground game, another big hole and another nice run out to the 49. And let's credit those guys up front. Satoa, Ari, Munoz, Murtaugh doing a good job tonight. Devin Wright, when he's in there, all doing a great job blocking tonight.
You know, that's usually a good sign when 3 or 4 guys have good rushing numbers. Somebody's opening up some pretty good holes.
3rd down and about 2 from the Valley 49-yard line. Early 4th quarter, Valley in control, 38-13, looking for the first win of the year. Peru State next week will be on the air at 10:30. And let's get this first down. Have to get to the 49-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Empty backfield for Bridges. Jake right in the middle of the field. Surveys the field. Now gets away from the rush. He's got the first down and takes a knee at the 44-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Man, he is quick. And you're right. Those defensive linemen, they're doing all they can. That time I was watching Thaddeus Watson. He just got shaking his head like, I can't get him.
How many times do you think those guys are yelling, help, help,
help? Oh, man. And he just continues to pick up yards. First down at the 44-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
Well, the good thing about Jake, he knows when he needs to run and knows when somebody's open to throw to.
The Vikings, remember, trailed in this game 12-7. First down. Quick bubble screen. The ball batted up in the air, still caught. And the Vikings will get yardage out of this of about 5 yards. That ball was batted up in the air. I think it was Watson, the defensive lineman, batted it up in the air. And then Jakari made the catch, but he's still down over there for 39.
Yeah, I don't want to lose him. They maybe took a shot in the midsection. I'm not sure.
He's still down. Dorian Stannard over. Ball was knocked up in the air by one of the defensive linemen. Jakari made the catch. It looks like, Joe, at least we're hoping. Well, number one, looks like maybe cramps because you can see the trainers, they have both legs up in the air and they're pointing those toes, trying to get those cramps. It is a warm evening tonight.
It is, and Jakari a very vital part of this Missouri Valley offense.
Boy, he is. Jakari Johnson did not play last year. He's back. And
I'll never forget the long run he made against Grandview 2 years ago to put us ahead 7-0. That's probably the highlight of the day for us, but it was a very electrifying run.
He outran their entire defense.
He did.
On that
he did.
Run. And he was going away. All right, Jakari is up. Not favoring that right leg. I think it's just a cramp the way they were working on him over there. Yeah, and he's still trying.
He's trying to loosen things
up. If you've not played sport, if you've played sports, you've had cramps. If you haven't, it's that same feeling you get when you wake up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse, except it goes to your leg and you can't move.
You know what I do when I get a cramp? I hobble into the kitchen and grab a banana.
Oh, you have to do, yeah. Oh, man. And it hurts. And they're helping him off. Yeah, they're going to help Jakari off. And then
he's trying to kick both legs, so I think hopefully it's nothing more than a cramp.
They'll work on him on the sideline here.
See what they do with him. We'll have a Jakari Johnson watch party.
It's 2nd down and 5 from the 39-yard line for the Vikings. Empty backfield for Jake Bridges. Three wide receivers off to the left. Here comes the rush. He throws it that way. It's caught by Mention. Mention circles back to the left hash mark from the sideline and picks up a first down at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, nice job that time by Mention. He made the catch in traffic, and that's Moses Mention, a freshman out of Ocala, Florida. Tackle on the play that time by Jeff Sanders, the defensive back for Graceland. But that is going to be enough for a first down. Vikes down at the Yellow Jacket 30, knocking on the door again, leading 38-13, 13-12 left in the game.
Yeah, pretty much in control of this one. Nice drive here. Bridges waits for the snap at the 35-yard line. Left hash mark. And fakes it to Kelly. Now tries to roll. He is in trouble.
Ooh,
he is sacked way back at the 45-yard line. And he didn't get away from Casimiro this time. Efaristo Casimiro made the sack. He grabbed on. He wouldn't let him go.
Casimiro is a sophomore, 245-pound defensive lineman from Angola, Africa. Made a nice play that time.
And he did. So it is second down and long.
Second down and an acre and a half right now.
That ball all the way back at the 43. Jakari Johnson on the bike now on the sideline.
Yeah, so he's all right. He'll be all right.
He's in good shape. Second down and a mile. Here comes the rush. Jake throws incomplete. He was trying to set up that little bubble screen to Mention, but it was covered very nicely by Mike Pierre. Incomplete. Third down, Vikes have to get to the 20-yard line of the Yellow Jackets for a first down. They have the ball at the 42.
Ken, I don't know what's going to happen in this drive, but the Vikes have already run 11 plays in this drive, so they've eaten up an awful lot of time.
Yeah, we're down to the 12-12 mark of the game. Valley up 38-13, comfortably ahead. The third down and 22. Bridges rolling to his right, waiting for him to get downfield. Now throws it. He has Kirk down there. It's underthrown. That ball's going to be picked off. Back to the 10, 15. Off to the 20 as Pierre goes to the Viking sideline. Shoved out of bounds there, but that ball comes back to the 35. Kirk had a step on the defender. The ball was underthrown, and Pierre picks it off. Takes it from the 2 all the way to his own 36-yard line, and that's where the Yellow Jackets take over.
And that's Jake's second interception of the night. But just kind of the home run ball right there. Kirk ran a good pattern, had a step, but boy, had to throw that ball a long way. He was way downfield.
They're going to mark him out on the Viking sideline at the 34-yard line, so that's where the Yellow Jackets take over. Compton at quarterback, and he's had a long evening. They haven't scored since the first quarter. He backpedals, looking, pumps once, throws it deep down the sideline, and it is caught. Incomplete, but out of bounds.
Yeah, good catch by Thomas.
Caleb Thomas somehow double team made the catch, but could not keep either foot in bounds.
Yeah, Gregory Johnson was right there, and also covering for the Vikings was Dylan Baxter. So they had him well covered, but Thomas went up and made a play, but had both feet out of bounds.
He tried to get one of them in, but did not, so it's second down and 10. There's that wide white line along the sideline. He couldn't keep either foot on the green. Here's a bubble screen off to the left side. Vikings are there with good pursuit, and it's a short gain, a gain of about maybe 3 or 4 yards, and that's going to be about it. Pass was complete to McCarty.
Yeah, I think it was Taylor Palade over there to run him out of bounds, so gain looks like a gain of maybe about 3 on the play. Let's call it third down and 7.
Kind of like Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is a corner over there from Sacramento. 6'3". That's kind of unusual for the Vikings to have a 6'3" corner.
Good to see that. Yeah, good. Get some height on.
Here's a pass down the sideline. It is incomplete.
Right. Speak of the devil. That was Aaron Ross on the coverage.
And he was step for step with Taz Richardson. So it's fourth down. And do you think the Yellow Jackets going to go here?
I don't know. Yeah, they really have nothing to lose.
Yeah. Down 38-13. New head coach, offensive coordinator at Lindenwood last year.
Jeff Desir checks out for the Vikings. Also coming out of the lineup is Mikai Burnley.
Mark Kolb in his first year.
Yep, they're going for it, and they got 7 yards to go. So let's see what Compton dials up here.
He'll stand back at his own 32-yard line. Here comes the rush. He throws over the middle. The pass is high and incomplete. Oh, they're going to call that interference. Oh.
There was some contact. I thought it was maybe incidental, but there Gregory Johnson and the receiver ran together, and they're going to say that, there was contact, but I don't know who initiated it.
So they're going to say it is pass interference, and that'll keep the drive alive. Late flag, but flag was thrown. Of course, the Viking fans didn't like the call, but Jalen McCarty was the intended receiver.
A lot of officials in the stands tonight.
You know, it's funny, you talk about officials at every level. You're talking about the Chiefs win over New England. A lot of the comments made during the game on Twitter and elsewhere, how poor the officials were. And all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, they got a little bit better.
Yeah, they got better. Yeah, they got better when the Chiefs got better.
They got a little bit better.
Yeah.
But boy, they were horrible that first quarter.
Yeah, I understand.
First down.
Mitch Holtis.
Here's the throw down the sideline, and boy, there's some hand fighting going on there. Deshaun Osborne, and he was right with David Holland, incomplete.
Deshaun did not know where the ball was, but he knew where the receiver was and stayed right with it. You know, you talk about officials. They're talking about in baseball. I heard on talk radio the other day about going to an electronic home plate umpire. I don't like that. So you still have a plate umpire to make the calls out and safe, but have a ball and strike called by an electronic umpire. It's
part of the game.
I agree with you. Little inside handoff that time. It looks like the ball carrier that time for Grayson was Smith.
Not much there. It's going to be third down.
Dedrick Allen made the stop for the Vikings. A short gain on the play, so it's going to be, looks like third down and looks like third and about 10 for Grayson.
I think it's safe to say this is two-down territory. And now there's a lot of movement as Dedrick Allen came through. He's pointing at the big tackle.
Everybody
pointing.
Both teams pointing at each other there.
Either a false start, and it should be because there were a lot of movement amongst those guys in the white jerseys. Yeah. Even though Allen came across, there was a lot of moving parts on that offensive line.
And one of the officials says to the other, "Why'd you throw your flag? I told you to keep this clock moving."
Yeah, keep the clock moving. It's 38-13. 10:54 to go. About 8:30, so this game 2.5 hours old. You're listening to KMMO Marshall, KMVC Marshall.
Backup quarterback Dakota Collins warming up in the bullpen for the Vikings down there.
So that may be it for Jake Bridges. Third down and 15. Ball back at the 41-yard line. After the procedure penalty. Back to throw again is Compton. Out rush. He's going to take off. He gets away. Gets up the sideline, and he is close to a first down.
I think he might have got it.
Right at midfield.
Yeah, going to be, yep.
Now he had to get, I think, to the.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to pay. I keep forgetting these motion penalties. So he's still got a ways to go.
Has 5 yards to go. He got into Viking territory. So it's 4th and 5 from the Viking 49, and obviously they're going to go for it.
No guess about what's going to happen here. They're going for it.
Low snap. He's able to corral it. Flips it out of the backfield. The ball is dropped. That was Smith coming out of the backfield. Would have been close to a first down.
He had some room.
Henry was coming up on the coverage.
Had a little bit of room if he'd have caught that ball. I think he might have picked it up. That's all academic right now. The ball will go to the Vikings.
Now let's see if we're going to get a new QB here. You said Dakota Collins, the young man from Lee Summit, was warming up.
Warming up in the bullpen down there. And he's going out there. He's going into the quarterback position, and looks like a new running back for the Vikings. Looks like it's going to be Sean Simmons, sophomore out of Kansas City.
Remember him from last year. Sean Simmons had a couple of decent ball games for the Vikings. Collins plays some baseball for the Vikings as well. He's a pitcher.
Pitcher, okay. Well, got an arm. Quarterback and pitcher, a natural combination.
First down at the 49. They give it off to Sean Simmons, and Simmons is not going to get back. Yeah, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Keeps the legs moving. No gain. It'll be second down. Clock moving.
See, also in the lineup right now, it looks like Anthony Gomez, a freshman wide receiver out of Coral Springs, Florida. Try to read some of these names. Trayvon Hollins-White, wide receiver, a freshman out of St. Louis. He's out there right now.
It is 2nd down and 9, a gain of a yard by Simmons.
Junko Barras is out there.
Barras is the tight end. And they'll hand it off to Simmons. Tries to find a opening in that offensive line and finds a few yards into Graceland territory at the 48-yard line. 9:25 and counting for the Vikes. 3rd down coming up.
Robert Young, offensive lineman, freshman out of Kirkwood. He's in the lineup for the Vikings. Try to read some of these numbers now. Checking in Jay Kirk at a wide receiver position. Dylan Airy, the offensive lineman, another freshman from Millathon, Texas. He's out there.
So it is going to be 3rd down and about 8 for Dakota Collins. And he's going to throw it. Steps up in the pocket, swings it out of the backfield. Kirk with a catch. 1st down, stays on his feet to the 30. Up the right side of the 20. Breaks a tackle. 15, 10, down to the 5, and he's finally brought down.
Boy, Kirk almost took that one to the house. He showed some good speed, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Nice little 5-6 yard pass, and Collins gets credit with that, and Kirk with a nice run, and it's 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, let's see. That's almost, that looks like about a 30, almost about a 45-yard gain, I think.
On the night, Jake Bridges was 16 out of 30, 2 touchdowns, 243 yards, a couple of interceptions, longest pass 39. Just a nice night's work for Jake Bridges. Yep. 1st and goal, the 5-yard line. Empty backfield for Dakota Collins, working from the right hash mark. He looks left, throws over the middle. It is dropped to the back of the end zone. I think that was Hollins White.
Yeah, White ran a pattern in the back of the end zone, right back by that pile in and out of the hands.
I want to remind you, coming up Tuesday on moval.edu, we'll have the video of women's volleyball. Red Holt's team off to a great start. They beat Baker last Tuesday. Benedictine will be in town. We'll have it for you at 7 o'clock on moval.edu. 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line for the Vikings. Again, empty backfield for Collins. Waits to take the snap and does at the 10. Here comes the rush up the middle. He throws, and that's incomplete. He threw that one to the left side, trying to get it to Gomez, or to the right side, trying to get it to Gomez. It's incomplete. It's 3rd and goal from the 5.
Boy, and one of the Viking receivers was wide open in the back of the end zone. I'm not sure if that's Hollins White or who that is, but he kind of trying to signal back to Dakota Collins that he was open. I think that was maybe Barras. I think he ran a little pattern to the back of that end zone.
It's 3rd down and goal.
It could have been, might have been, I think that was Mo Anglin maybe.
So 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Collins rolls to his left, throws it that way. It is caught. That's a touchdown to Gomez. That's the first touchdown catch of the year for Mr. Gomez, Anthony Gomez, the freshman wide receiver.
Is that a 4-yard pass?
4-yard pass. And Dakota Collins gets a touchdown pass. So this unit feeling pretty good about that drive.
6 plays, 51 yards on that drive.
Austin Johnson will attempt another extra point. Gomez, a freshman out of Coral Springs, Florida. The extra point is good, and the Vikings have broken the 40-point mark. It's 44-13. Kickoff coming up on the Viking Sports Network.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. And $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted. Which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
45-13, the Vikings putting this one away now. And here's the kick by Johnson. It is boomed into the end zone, and decides to keep it right there. It is Caleb Thomas. Too bad, Joe. We were going to watch Mr. Elliott Suter to see who paid the price for him going down on special teams.
We had a bet on it, didn't we?
I think he was going to. I remember last year he was our player last week on our pregame show, and asked him about special teams. You remember? And he goes, "Yeah, I just stay in my lane, and somebody's going to pay."
Yeah.
He is.
In his lane, man. His lane goes from this side of the field to that other side.
He
of the field.
is a big dude. All right, first down from the 25-yard line. Here's a handoff for about 2 or 3 yards. Again, they give that one off to Caleb, or rather to Smith.
Graceland still has their starters, but they'd like to get another touchdown. They want to try to get some momentum going into next week if they can. So can't fault them for that.
Second down and about 8. Vikings trailing 13-7, then started to roll. Here is and now comes to the right side on the scramble and will get out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Depending on where they mark it, they might give him a first down, or he might be just a little bit shy. I think he's about a half a yard shy of the first down as he goes out of bounds on the Viking sideline.
Dalen Baxter, the freshman defensive back from Cedar Hill, Texas, runs him out of bounds on the near sideline.
So it's third down and a yard from their own 34-yard line. We'll talk to the coach after the game. Third down, they want to throw, and this one's going to be caught. And Thomas again up that left sideline, picks up a first down before he is run out of bounds, but not before he gets into Viking territory. They're going to say stepped out at the Viking 49, but that is enough for a first down. He had 21 catches last week, and he's getting close to that. He has to be getting close to that again this week.
This will be a more pleasant visit with Coach Trott this week. I'll tell you, although with Paul, he's going to be very not, he's not going to be super down, not going to be super up. He stays pretty even keeled.
Yeah, another pass out to the flat. This time the Vikings corral that. Good play as Thomas makes the catch, and he is hit immediately. And I think the first one there was Kenny Wilson, I think.
Chris Collins was there, too. Chris is a junior defensive back out of St. Louis. So Wilson and Collins, good job that time.
So it is going to be second down and 9, a gain of only a yard after that catch. And now flag as coming right up the middle for the Vikings was Steven Middendorf. And did that center flinch, or was it offside? Thomas, the receiver for the Yellow Jackets, pointing toward the Vikings as if it's an offside, but the officials are going to talk about it. Procedure. .54. I don't know who 54 had this at 94, I would think. 54? Okay. So they say that Shatani, Yad Shatani, was the guilty party on the personal foul.
I called him Chitney, so it's Shatani, huh?
I believe it's Shatani.
Shatani, all right.
So it's first down at the 39-yard line. Here's the pass out in the flat. It's caught. They break one tackle and down at the 32-yard line. And that pass to Jalen McCarty. One thing about the Yellow Jackets, they're going to keep throwing the football.
Yeah, they've been a pass-oriented team all night long, all season long, and they've got a pretty good passing attack. Devon Henry comes in, and coming out of the lineup is Baxter.
Second down and about 3. Another throw, same play, give it to Thomas. First down inside the 25 on the far side to the 23. You know, after that first quarter, they have very few times thrown the ball downfield. They just throw those quick outs.
Well, the Viking defense is really, they gave up a couple of early touchdowns, but they really tightened the screws down since that first quarter.
This ball's all the way down to the 21-yard line. A lot of those on the second tier of the two-deep chart on the field for the Viking defense. Hand it off to Smith. He crashes inside the 20, down to the 18. Clock moving, 5:35. Desir's going to come back in, Jeff Desir.
You know, as many times we play Graceland in football, we also cover basketball. The Graceland athletic event I'll never forget was the basketball game about 2 years ago up in Lamoni, and we drove home in one of the most hellacious snowstorms. You did a good job keeping her between the lines.
Not hard to do. It's 30 miles an hour all the way back.
And we pulled into Cameron, ate at that Wendy's, and there must have been 300 people eating in there that night.
The injured player is Smith, the running back. Yeah, he's up, walking off, gets a hand from the crowd. Cramps again there. We saw Jakari Johnson with that. A lot of the Viking first-team offensive players are relaxing on the benches down below us. Their night's work is done. So second down. And again, a quick pass out to Thomas. This time the Vikings wrap him up for very little gain. I think that may have been Ross. It was. I think Aaron Ross.
Good job by Aaron. Aaron came up very quickly that time and closed that play down.
So no gain. It'll be third down. And this Viking unit would like to keep the Yellow Jackets out of the end zone, down to the 5-minute mark as they'll snap this ball. 10:30 next Saturday, pregame before Peru State.
That'd be another tough one.
Yes, it will be. Third down. Compton throws into the end zone. It is knocked away. They're going to call it interference.
I don't know about that. Looked like pretty good coverage to me.
Going to call it on Ross, and they'll call it.
Watch it. Let's watch the replay and see.
They'll call it and say he never turned around, I'm sure. It's some contact, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, it looked to me like Ross had a hand up going for the ball. But
I think if he turns his head around, he probably gets away with it. But as it is.
Deshaun Osborne checks in for the Vikings.
So they're going to move this one all the way inside the 5, all the way down to the 2-yard line.
John Brock, defensive back, comes out.
So first and goal for the Yellow Jackets. Yeah, he never turned around, so that's why that call was made. First and goal. They'll run it down to the 1-yard line and not going to get in. It'll be second and goal. This Viking unit doing a pretty good job. So it'll be second down. The ball carrier was Dylan Mack. Mack will stay in. Now that ball ever so close to the goal line.
Now timeout. I don't know who took it. I'm not sure. Haven't seen a signal yet as to who took that timeout, but somebody stopped the clock.
Might be, let's see, the referee's going to tell us now. He's not sure.
No, he doesn't know.
Still never let us know.
Chaz Matty's the only man in the stadium that knows, and he said Graceland took
that timeout. The ball is at the 1-yard line, so it'll be second and goal from there. This broadcast is brought to you by C&R Markets, Katy Trail Community Health, Marshall, and C&B Gutters and Vinyl Siding in Sedalia. Another timeout by the Yellow Jackets. This game coming up on 3 hours.
You know, looking forward to that Peru game next week. We've had some battles. They beat us here 2 years ago, and then we knocked them off up in Peru last year. So, and they've both been very close, down to the wire type games.
So after the timeout, it's second and goal. 4:28 left. Vikings are going to win this game. They're up 45-13. And they're going to try to power it straight ahead. I don't think they made it unless it's by second effort.
I don't think he did.
Boo. I mean, that time Mack took a run and he was hit and stopped right in the middle of that line. It's going to be third down. There was a lot of hitting going on there.
How about this? Mack looked like he got hit by a Mack truck.
He did.
That time.
I mean, there were several of them there. I could see number 47, Kenny Wilson. Joseph Trout was there. Third and goal. They try it again, and this time it's close. Still no signal.
Three offensive linemen trying to push him into the end zone.
He didn't make it. It's fourth down. It's fourth down and goal from inside the 1-yard line. Max said, "Give me my touchdown." They're still unpiling bodies there.
So I'm getting pounded down here.
It's fourth down and goal from inside the 1.
This time the quarterback tries. He didn't get there. How about that for a goal line stand? I know it's late in the game. It really doesn't matter. But how about that?
Wow.
4 plays from the 2-yard line, and they stuff it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not sure how many of the starters are still out there. I know a lot of the second-team players are in the lineup for the Vikings right now, and I think a lot of the starters are still on the bench.
Wow.
So give those kids credit. They made a great, great series there.
Keith Harris was there, Kenny Wilson, there were some others, and the Vikings take over. That ball is at the 1-foot line.
Yeah. They ran 3 plays inside of the 1-yard line, I think.
Yep, the first got them to the 1, and everybody's smiling down there. That's just a good job by, again, mostly the second unit defensively, and they have to be happy about that.
And some of those young men, that'll be one of the highlights of their season.
They'll be talking about that tonight. That was big. So Collins halfway back in the end zone to take this snap, and now one of the Graceland Yellow Jackets comes across. Well, I guess if they're going to call procedure, what is it, a 1-inch penalty?
I don't know what they're going to call. Well, he plowed into. It's going to be offsides, I think. I think it's offside on Graceland. Yeah, that kind of gets the Viking not out of the hole, but gives them a little bit of breathing room there. Takes it out to the 6.
Well, you know what the Vikings would like to do with 3:25 to go is get a couple first downs, run off the clock.
Yeah, no need to score again, really.
And that's the Paul Croft philosophy. Paul, if he can help it, won't run up the score. But they just like to get a first down. They jump again. And this may be a free play down the sideline. The catch is made for a first down. Good throw to mention.
Yeah.
And let's see what the penalty is all about. If it is offside, the play will stand.
And one of the Viking or one of the Grayson players wanted to start a little something. One of his teammates pushed him back.
That's
so
good.
Yeah, another offside. Yeah.
So
Dakota Collins threw that ball with a lot of authority that time.
And Mention made a nice catch on the far sideline.
Yep. Likes to have depth at that receiver position.
So it's first down, 3:25 to go. Vikings are going to win this one, go 1-2, wait for Peru State next week. Yellow Jackets will fall to 0-3. Culver also winless. They're 0-3.
Now there's an unsportsmanlike conduct, I think.
Well, that may be what you were talking about. One of the something was said or whatever by one of the Yellow Jackets, and that caused. So all of a sudden, after a short pass to the sideline and the penalty, it's first down at the 41.
We've all of a sudden picked up 40 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Run one play and picked up 40.
Vikings now, as they wind the clock, 22 on the play clock.
I'd say he might stay on the ground now. We'll see. Is that Simmons, the running back?
Simmons is in there at the running back. Oh, no, that looks like that may be Elton Taylor, the freshman. Let's see. Well, he didn't get much. So it'll be second down and 10. So it's second down and 10. Yeah, that was Simmons stayed in there, number 34.
Simmons, yeah.
So it's second down and 10. Vikings will take the play clock down to 2:45. Collins threw a nice pass there to get out of the shadow of his own end zone. Now from the right hash mark, it'll be second down. They'll keep it on the ground. Simmons hit again, back pedals for a couple of yards, hit back to the Graceland side of the field and kept those legs moving, picked up a couple of yards at third down.
Askia Harris, the junior defensive back there to make that stop. Good tackle by him. But we're down almost nearing the 2-minute mark, so Vikes going to move to 1-2 with another home game next Saturday at 11 o'clock against the Peru State Bobcats.
Now it is Ethan Taylor, the freshman out of Texas, in the backfield. Where's number 14? So third down and 9. Collins takes the play clock down, rolls to his right. Looks that way, throws that way. It is caught by Gomez, hangs on at the 40-yard line. Good catch, good throw, first down.
And Gomez, that's his second catch. He caught a 4-yard touchdown pass from Collins the last time the Vikings had the ball. So he's all of a sudden late in the game had a big night.
Now that's coming back. It looks like an ineligible receiver downfield.
Okay. And those tackles were saying they never throw the ball to me.
Yeah.
somebody took off a little too early. So it is going to be third down in the long. Third down and long, 3rd and 14 from the 38-yard line now. Ball back at the 38-yard line. We're down to 1:25. Clock is moving. So Collins in no hurry to snap this ball. Now he's going to swing it out. And the running back knocked out after a very short gain, Elton Taylor. So it's 4th down. They'll punt it away with the Vikings. And when they snap this ball, if they take most of the time off the clock, there'll be about half a minute to go.
I'm going to head down towards the field, I think, partner.
All right, we'll have a conversation with Coach Paul Troth after this first win of the year in week number 3. Glad you can be with us tonight. KMMO Radio, KMBC FM Marshall, and also mobile.edu. All right, Vikes will punt it away. Higgins rushes on. Boy, he drills this one. It's a low line drive. Fair catch called for and made it to 23. So the ball will belong to the Yellow Jackets one last time. Let's see if they want to continue to throw the ball or if they're going to say enough. They had a 13-7 lead in the first quarter. And then the Vikings got it together. Preston Compton's had a busy night. They're going to throw it again. Now they're going to keep it on the ground this time. Very short gain, and that could be the final play of the game, down to 23 seconds. They don't have to stop it again or snap it again if they choose not to. And let's see what Coach Mark Kolb wants to do here. Going to snap it one more time. Nope. Coach Kolb is walking across the field, so he said that's enough. And the final score, 45-13. The Vikings 1-2, and Graceland falls to 0-3. We'll start the post-game show in 1 minute on the Viking Sports Network.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
We are back on the Ashford Stadium. Greg Mitchell Field as the Vikings win for the first time in 2017. Final score 45-13, a win over the Graceland Yellow Jackets. A lot of passing from both teams in this game. We'll take a look at some of the statistics. Jake Bridges had a big night. Kenny Sanford rushing for over 100 yards tonight. So good win for the Vikings, and they needed this one after a couple of tough losses on the road to Benedictine, and then a loss, of course, at home to William Penn last week. The Vikes needed this one, and they got just what they needed tonight in a win. They trailed early in this game by the score of 13-7, then got on a roll and led 28-13 at the half, and took over in the second half. And a nice goal line stand by most of the second unit defenders. That was kind of the highlight late in the ball game. And again, the final score 45-13. We'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll head down to the field as Coach Paul Troth will join Joe and talk about this first win of 2017. We'll be back in just a moment.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Can the Vikings win this one? The final score is 45-13. So a good win for the Vikings tonight. Joe will talk it over with the head coach, Paul Troth, in just a moment. Don't forget, Tuesday night on moval.edu, we have volleyball, as Benedictine will be in town. Brett Holt's club off to a super start, so we'll have that for you starting at 7 o'clock on moval.edu. And then our next football broadcast will be next Saturday. It's an early start. We'll be on the air at 10:30 with a pregame show. The play-by-play at 11, as Peru State will be in. The Vikings trying to even their record at 2-2 on the season. It looks like the meeting is over for the Vikings in their purple uniforms, getting their first win of the season. And just about everybody, most everyone got in the game tonight, part of this first win. And boy, after two rough days or rough weeks of losses, Coach Paul Troth had to feel pretty good about this one. As they make their way over here, just total yards, 559 total yards for the Vikings, 329 for the Yellow Jackets. Let's head down to the field.
Coach, let's start with your offense. We can talk about a lot of playmakers tonight, but I thought your offensive line did a much better job tonight clearing holes, opening lanes, so your playmakers could do their thing.
Yeah, I thought overall we played much better, certainly, and got more consistent. We haven't started the same 5 guys in these 3 games, kind of been jumbling around, but guys are starting to fill into roles, and overall I'm happy for the guys that they won. Still got some things to work on always and that kind of stuff, but, we'll come back and get ready for next week.
Well, your defense gave up a couple of touchdowns early, but then they settled down. They shut Graceland out the rest of the way, and how about that goal line stand at the end of the game?
Well, yeah, their offense, their quarterback does a nice job. They throw it all over the place. And they got some receivers that, they got a couple, that big play right out the gate that, it's just a play. And, after that we did settle down. Yeah, that goal line stand, that was awesome. That was by a lot of our second string defense, and they really stood up and came up, first and goal from the 2, and 4 straight runs they didn't get in. I thought that was outstanding.
Now, I got to give you credit. A punt early in the game. Graceland punted to us. The ball obviously hit somebody. You did a good job getting out on the field. You helped the officials make the call and told them it hit a Graceland player. So kudos to you.
Well, no, it wasn't me. Actually, what happened, Joe, as I came out, I wanted to make sure one of them saw it hit, and I saw the guy had the beanie on the ground. So they were on top of it, and they knew what was going on. They didn't need any help from me.
I'm just trying to be funny. But all right, next week back at home again, play Peru State. They're playing tonight. They came into tonight 2-0. Play them at 11 o'clock here next Saturday. That'll be another tough one.
Yeah, it was a real close game last year. We were able to get out with a close victory, and we're going to need a great effort again. And the conference has got a lot of good teams, so you got to be ready every week, and we'll go to work on them and see what we can do next week.
Coach, good win tonight. Let's keep it going.
All right, thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Coach. And we'll wrap things up. A couple of stats before we wrap things up. The Vikings had 559 yards of offense tonight, 329 for Graceland, 313 passing, 289 passing for Graceland. Vikings ran for 246. Graceland ran for 40 yards. Kenny Sanford, 108 yards on 12 carries, a touchdown. Jake Bridges ran for 94 and had a couple of touchdowns on the ground. On the night passing, Jake was 16 out of 30. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns,
and he had 243 yards. And for Preston Compton, 24 out of 43, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 286 yards. And how about the pass receiving of David Holland? 2 catches, 121. Those both in the first half, so the Vikings did a nice job to shut him down. Jakari Johnson had 6 catches for 72. Caleb Thomas, 16 catches for Graceland, 135 yards. But the Vikes win it, and the final score again, 45-13. For Chaz Maddie and the entire crew, and also for all of our folks working back at the stations, pushing all the buttons. And for Joe All, I'm Ken Quayava. Final score, 45-13. Vikings go to 1-2. Join us for volleyball on moval.edu Tuesday night. And everyone on the network will be back for football Saturday. Peru will be in. We'll have it for you starting the pregame at 10:30. I'm Ken Quayava. Good night from Marshall.